Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons show, and we have our lovely players all around the table, so we'll start with Nick and do some introductions.
I'm Nick. I play Thaddeus, the Human Paladin of Sanahan.
I am Kay. I play Harmony, who is a wild magic sorcerer tiefling.
I'm Melissa, and I play Mara, who is a human pirate.
I'm Zach, and I play Hunter, who's a Warforged fighter.
So we stream every Monday on Twitch at 7 p.m. Pacific time, then post those episodes to YouTube the following Wednesday. Throughout the show, we use several custom items and a custom wild magic table as well for our wild magic sorcerer. So if you're interested in any of that, there's links on the page that you can find. Our music comes from BattleBards and TabletopAudio.com, as well as Incomtech. It's a really weird one to pronounce, but all of the information for that is on the page as well, so if you're interested in any of that, that's where you can go to check it out. If you're watching on Twitch, please do check the channel page, because like I said, there's lots of links and info there. If you're watching on YouTube, however, check the video description, because that's where all of the same information can be found. Then, if you want to follow us on Twitter for information about what we're doing and when, and you can see sort of like our attempt at humorous tweets each week based on what the characters do in the session. You can follow us on Twitter at Antiheroes Anon, which is also down on the bottom of the page. And other than that, enjoy the show and share it with your friends, and definitely come back for more each week, because we're streaming each week. So, a little bit of recap, and then we'll get into it. In Farendell, the capital city of this continent that the party has been adventuring across, the party allied with Mara Stormwind, a rogue hired by Sial to help them break into the tower of Helja Ironshield, a powerful but missing wizard, in order to find out if Helja Ironshield is still alive or not. They then entered the tower on the first layer of the city, and then headed down towards sort of the basement area of this tower, where they found that the tower had actually been built upon the ancient ruins of an Illithid civilization, and was protected by a powerful magical barrier. Deciding not to break the barrier, they instead decided to climb up the tower in search of Helja, whereupon they got actually separated in the fog of a labyrinthine library, and met an old dwarven man named Drix, who is the library's keeper, and offered them a sort of deal whereby they could trade information for information. And so that's where we're going to pick up. Thaddeus is actually technically a little bit separated from the party, having not met Drix yet, so I think we'll start with him, but let me get some music up first. So you were in the library, you made your way up to the top of the bookshelves, so you were sort of up above the fog.
And then I jumped down to one to investigate the thing, and I found what looked like, I think, some blueprints and then a little chess piece.
Yeah, a chess piece. And you couldn't quite read the blueprints because, for one, it's arcane gobbledygook, and for two, a good portion of it is in Dwarvish, which I don't believe that you speak. So, yeah. But having found that, you're sort of finding yourself on top of these bookshelves, looking out over the fog, and it's completely dark within this library area, so you can't really see anything beyond the glow of your moon blade. But up here, you at least are away from the fog, which is the main detriment. And you can see that the bookshelves themselves sort of have this actual maze-like structure. There's no rhyme or reason to them. It's as if they're designed so that if you don't know what you're looking for, you can't find it.
Yeah. So what Thaddeus is going to do is kind of get away from the edge of it, so that the edge is within sight. So he's going to kind of like get as wide a range as possible within his range of vision.
Right, so you're going towards the outer edge or the inner edge?
The outer edge is where it was, right?
Right. So that's where you hopped down and found the chess piece.
So I'm going back toward the inner edge.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to start making like a systematic speed.
Okay. Do you want to go, because it's sort of circular around an inner structure. There's sort of like this inner circle that you came out of into the library, and then it branches out from there into like corridors of bookshelves. Do you want to go clockwise from there or counterclockwise?
Clockwise.
Clockwise. Okay. So then, I'm not even gonna have you roll for it because it's pretty obvious. When you start to go that direction, after you sort of like start to make your sweeping pattern,
Like jumping over the shelves and language with my methods.
Yep, with your boots, it's no problem. So probably after about 5-10 minutes of doing this sweeping pattern, going clockwise around the circle, you come across a patch you can see just sort of at the edge of your sword's glow, where the fog seems to be parted, and you can just hear muffled voices coming from there.
Alright, I'll approach that.
Then we'll see what you come across exactly.
Yeah.
The rest of you were engaged in conversation with this figure who emerged out of the fog holding a lantern, the fog seeming to part and bend around him. This sort of hunched old dwarven male figure, bald with like no hair on the body that you can see, like not even eyebrows, piercings on the lip, nose, ears, pretty much everywhere on the face that you could imagine. And he had come forward.
Did you say like caterpillar or
Yes, that's the other distinguishing feature, is sort of augmenting the piercing quality to his bright green eyes, is this emerald colored a centipede that adorns his neck. It seems to like wrap around it as if it were a necklace.
And it's an actual centipede.
Yeah, and so sort of like, at first you thought it was a necklace, but then occasionally it will like shift a little bit and you can hear like as it moves up or down on his neck. But he doesn't seem to be bothered by it at all. And he had emerged out of the fog and introduced himself, and he said something along the lines of, I don't remember exactly what it was, something along the lines of, my name is Trix, I'm keeper of this library. If there's knowledge you seek within the library, I know where it is, I can help you find it. However, the price for my knowledge is knowledge, and that's sort of where we left off. So, have you anything to trade? You have the look of seekers about you.
Anybody got any secrets they want to share with this guy? He's not here.
Oh, that's right. Rats. That big one.
Yeah, let's talk about rats.
What kind of knowledge are you interested in?
Knowledge is knowledge. There's always a use for it. It really just depends if you know something that I do not. I'm well traveled, you see, so I've been far and wide across the world in my years, and even across the plains beyond this one. You'll find yourself hard-pressed to find something I don't know. But if you can, I'd be more than willing to help you.
And how do we quantify this trade? Is it like word for word that we're trading secrets, or is it something else?
No, I think the quality of knowledge should be a good quantifier.
And that's something that you're deciding, or we are? Or is it a bargain?
We'll work it out.
Okay.
Well, Harmony and Hunter are engaged in conversation with them. Can Mara sneak around behind him and try to pick his pockets?
Sure. Make a stealth check.
Which is this one?
However, there's no fog and not really anywhere to hide. You're kind of like directly in his sight, so make it a disadvantage.
Okay. Sneaking around behind him because of that. I'm really good.
What do you get?
Actually, yeah, so you would have advantage because of your boots, so just make a normal check.
Okay.
Okay. So add your stealth modifier to it. Should be spot on.
I can't read. 3? So 13.
13. Just trying to find this guy's passive.
Beats my passive perception.
Um,
For sure.
Yeah, Harmony and Hunter, you're sort of engrossed in this conversation, but as he's speaking with you and sort of waiting expectantly for you to take up the reins and provide some information or something, his eyes suddenly shift to you, Mara, those piercing green, and he looks at you and he says, "What about you, stepping forward towards me? Do you have anything you seek? You have the look of a seeker about you."
Let's see. I thought I was sneaking around behind him, but I guess he pivoted too fast.
He caught you, yes.
He caught me.
Yeah, and he has sort of like there's like a knowing gleam in his eye almost.
Okay. So, I I just wanted to get a closer look at your centipede. Does he have a name?
Ah, he does. He does. What's a second while the DM searches his notes?
And then I'm gonna ask Harmony like a message.
Okay, I'll message to you.
Okay. Like, I'm gonna tell you what I'm thinking about offering him. I'm like, I may know some languages that he doesn't. I don't know if he's interested in language.
It's worth trying.
What do you have? If
I
we
have
want-
nothing.
Do we even want anything from this man?
Yes.
We need to
What
know
do we want? Well, how
where-
can we? What do we want to negotiate with him?
This is a private conversation.
Yeah.
I'm using my cantrip to
okay.
whisper directly to him
Yeah.
because he asked me to.
Okay.
So he can't hear us.
I don't want to show him my cards yet.
Okay.
Because I can show
No,
him.
no, I don't have any information.
I thought that I had named the centipede.
Earl.
Earl.
Apparently I didn't.
One up.
What's the name of the
Don't
centipede?
talk to DM. You will regret it later.
Shelby.
Shelby? Yeah, sure. Her name is Shelby.
So it must be a girl centipede.
Yes, yes. She's been with me for nearly 10 years.
Can you tell? Never mind. I don't want to know.
So
Even insects have their biologies about them. At this point, Thaddeus comes hopping onto the bookshelf above you. You guys sort of hear a thud, and Drix looks up and says, "Ah, a friend of yours, I suppose. Well, come down here."
It's a matter of speaking.
It's actually a much greater visibility up here.
No, come into the light of my lantern.
He looks at the other. You three should try it.
There's no fog down where we are, though.
Come into the light of my lantern.
That just jumps down.
You hop down, and
Look
sure
at
enough,
timing.
the body's
Keeper of
full.
secrets, secret keeper. You have all of our wealth in secrets.
I'll give you the same introduction I gave these fine folk.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
Trix, the keeper of the library. If
Trix,
there's knowledge
Thaddeus,
you seek
Thaddeus,
within,
Trix.
then
He
I...
needs knowledge. For knowledge.
I don't know what you possibly want from me.
Knowledge.
Okay.
You're well traveled. You've been to places.
Alright.
So, what is something that Thaddeus might know? I mean, it doesn't have to be from within the campaign. Like, just based on
Yeah.
his background, something Thaddeus might know.
I wonder if I'm gonna ask a call. It's knowledge for knowledge, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you an important thing that I need to know. And in return, I'll tell you one of those important things.
Ah, yes. Interesting.
Is Helja Ironshield alive?
I can tell you this information.
Okay.
So if you wish to make a deal, then I shall.
Okay.
is there a way that we can tell if he's actually a dwarf or not?
You can make an insight check.
I rolled a. Let's say 14.
14.
I think I got 14. That's wisdom, yeah. 14.
2 stat blocks. There it is. There's something, it's probably like the lack of hair. There is something distinctly non-dwarfish about him.
Okay.
But for the sake of his appearances, he does put on this dwarfish appearance. At the very least, that's the appearance this creature is taking on.
So, is there a way that if he has a disguise, can we see through it? Would that be insight or would that be
That sort of would have been what you just rolled.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I want to tell you. But unfortunately, some of it is about my family. I don't remember all my names.
Oh, I can help you.
I'm gonna
we had this, like,
our
we
message
established it.
conversation.
We established it during like a private chat at work.
Yeah.
So
I've got
there's
it
no,
all.
like,
There's no
I
record.
literally have our messages saved right here.
Okay, great.
I'd say I'm gonna say like I think he's hiding something. About himself.
So do we have a
Just
deal?
whisper it
Shall
to
I
him.
tell you?
Yeah.
Can I have
Can you
your word
distinguish what he is?
that what I tell you goes no further?
I'll take a look.
Yes, of course. I will say a vast portion of the knowledge contained within this library is not written on the pages of books.
Then we do have this.
Helja Ironshield does yet breathe, but I can sense that it will not be for much longer.
That's what we think.
Okay.
While they're talking, I'd like to summon Mage Hand behind him and try to poke him.
Okay.
See if he's
Make a stealth check.
an illusion or if he's real.
Oh, okay.
Stealth check.
Or sleight of hand, I suppose. Whichever one is better.
They're the same. 13.
13.
It's the same.
He sort of swats away the hand after the first poke, just like swats at it. But the hand did seem to poke physical body.
Physical body. Okay.
You were just like poking at the head.
I was just poking more like a place because I'm a disguise self-caster. Like I've
Right.
cast illusion magic before, so I know what the signs are. And if he is using illusion magic to disguise himself, I would be poking like at his side maybe, or like above his head to see.
So you sort of try those areas before he even notices and swats away, and it doesn't go it doesn't come into contact with anything above his head. So there's no illusion making him shorter. And sort of the same thing around the body. And then when you actually poke his physical body, it does come into contact with something, and then he swats it away.
So it feels like he's not at least not using an illusion to disguise himself.
So, and then to the group, I would just ask, what are some things that we need to know right now? Or we
Hang on,
progress?
I haven't finished my piece.
I'm still
Yeah,
waiting
like-
on my bit of information.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
So, where I come from, the Baron of Panama, you know who I am, right?
No, now I do.
Right? Fair enough.
I would assume you are, judging by your age, Thaddeus Hemlock.
Yes. I have a younger brother and a sister.
Do you want their names now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you want to know... You want to know where she is?
yes.
You want to ask, what's a way that we can get like,
Where's
the
that
most out of
information?
that question?
I just had it. No, I've lost it.
We can either ask where she is, or how to get to her, or...
What's your favorite authors?
Well, if we have a lot of knowledge
How do you know
here,
that?
we could ask.
Well, I'm afraid that we don't.
Have
So I'm
some
trying to,
But we
like...
might. We all have
Maybe this isn't the
secrets
note it's in.
and backstory.
I guess so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
just
get
one.
it. Yeah, I get it, yeah. Yeah. Not here, no. This is-
We know your backstory. Your backstory is like the plot of this whole campaign.
Actually,
I know, that's why it's like a very
I know
shallow
I have it
well.
in a note somewhere, but
Did
apparently
I
it's not.
email it to you? I might have emailed it to you.
Yeah. I know I have it in a note somewhere. It's just apparently not the one I thought. So is there any way we can gloss over it?
Give me 1 second. I know this is interrupting the session, but I think I can get it.
So
What other things do we
you
want
could,
to know?
Apprehend language is a good idea.
I know, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to number out the things that we want to know,
I think I
like
got it.
prioritize them in my head.
We want to know. I want to know where she is
Okay.
I'll just keep it
because
vague.
we know her likes to picture.
Sorry about that. I thought I had it in this note somewhere.
Right.
So he explains
Technically,
that
we've completed the mission if we verify that she's alive.
Okay. I think Phil also want to know where she is.
She's in the tower.
But where in the tower?
She
I also did not say that she was within the tower. That
No.
would be another bit.
We know. We're discussing what else to ask.
Okay.
So
Well, anyways,
ignore us because you guys are talking. We're talking amongst ourselves.
I know,
Yeah.
but I kind of wanted to say, here's something about that.
I am going to.
Oh, we're
waiting for
waiting.
you to
We're-
find the
yeah,
note.
while
Yeah,
you
we
guys are
couldn't
doing stuff.
find it, so.
Now we'll be
We were
quiet.
trying to fill the there.
So Thaddeus Hemlock.
Right. I have an elder sister. Under normal rules of succession, when my father dies, she would inherit the baron. But my sister and I have a secret arrangement that she will abdicate and I will take it instead.
Ah,
This must be kept a secret from my brother, who we think has designs on the land.
interesting. Now that is a bit of information. Yes, I see this deal as valid and equal. Thank you.
Only equal?
Only equal, it seems. Someone else will have to give up something of theirs.
What else would you like to know? Any of you?
Well, so now we were
Is there something
discussing.
you seek within the library specifically that I can guide you to?
Because she wasn't sneaking when she was looking at the books.
I know. We all kind of know you're
you
looking.
have
I was like
a whole-
following you. I'm like, what is she doing
I never
here?
did get a chance to rifle through your bag to see if what I'm seeking is in there. So maybe while everyone's talking, I could kind of rustle through his bag.
Yeah, you want to pull out a book or two?
Yeah.
Okay, as you pull out a book, it's still like flapping and trying to like get at you.
So I'm gonna like panic. Like, what are you doing?
You hold them out like one at a time, and that's
Yeah, but
fine.
I'm gonna like keep it closed and like put it on the other side of me. Like, no, stop it.
None of the few you pull out before Hunter takes the bag away are the ones you're looking for. They actually all seem to be blank books.
Okay. Okay. Well, I could ask him the question.
It's up to you.
But
You
I
have
don't know
question
if I
for
have anything to offer him because I don't know much about where we haven't played very much.
Well, you have the
You
look
can
of a
make it up.
sailor about you.
You can make any cat that you want.
All right.
Admittedly, the seas are a blind spot in my knowledge.
So I am looking for a book of sealing.
Book of Sealing. Well, there are one or two books within this library that I can think of specifically that deal with the magic of sealing a creature away.
What do you need a book of sealing for?
None of your business.
Do you have any more specifics? A title?
It's
Author? Ipfi. Yes, Ipfi's Grimoire of Sealing. Ah, now that is an interesting quarry. Unfortunately, it's not within the library. This is one that Helja herself kept within her personal collection most of the time. If you go to her quarters, I suppose you might find it there.
Okay. In return, I will tell you that my grandfather was a very famous pirate, and he has within his ship a treasure chest with very valuable contents.
Ah, interesting. Treasure chest somewhere on the sea with valuable contents. Yes, this knowledge could be valuable to someone. I will accept that as equal payment. Thank you.
Well, hold
You?
on. Well, one moment, please. Useful to someone, are you planning to sell what we know to others?
Of course.
He just said that they wouldn't leave this.
I said that yours would not.
Ah,
Our deal does not extend to this one.
I see.
You asked specifically for that condition, and I am willing to oblige.
Fair enough.
Okay. I don't know if we need to know anything. What do we need to know?
We need to find her.
Where is she?
We need to find
It's the most
Helga.
important thing here.
Okay, so we want to know her location in the tower.
Well,
Well,
let's
she's-
not be.
Don't be so specific. Just ask, where is Helja?
Okay.
We don't want to chop ourselves
yeah.
by asking, where is she in the tower? Oh, she's nowhere in the tower. Haha, you get your information now.
But can we
The
ask?
centipede around his neck just sort of shifts like a full circle and then comes to rest, so its head is sort of looking at you. Its antenna twists or like twitching a little bit.
So can we ask where specifically Helja is?
Mhm.
Okay, so I would ask that. Like where specifically is Helja Ironshield right now?
And you have something of worth to trade? I
Uh,
admit, I've never seen a creature quite so. Well, look, a creature of your construct. So perhaps that is a worthy secret.
Okay. They told us something else right there.
This is true, I have. Helja Ironshield, at this point in time, resides in the very top room of the tower, her study, where she has barricaded herself. However, as I mentioned, her life is in danger. At this point, I can feel the magic that binds me to this place fading. Which means only one thing, as far as I am aware.
Good thing you say go up.
It is. You were right.
I'm sorry. What was that? Can you say that one more time? I'm not sure I heard you correctly.
You were right.
Drix chuckles at this exchange, just sort of like an ominous.
I'm gonna message Harmony.
You can't message me.
Or can I ask for you?
I have to initiate the
Right.
message.
You message
You can
me.
like give her a signal.
You can say Harmony,
Harmony,
message.
message me. You can tell him about the
We still have to tell him about something. We still have to pay him back for this.
I know. I'm just giving you
So
some things
tell
as
me
well.
about.
Because it just popped in my head. But okay, so do you want to know about me, or do you want to know something else?
I'll leave that up to you, but I am very curious
About what?
about your physicality
I'll message him
Okay.
and say,
and the nature of your being.
tell him about how you became a
I-
thing.
No, I mean, do I know enough about myself that I could explain that adequately?
You know enough about
And the others that I fought?
the technical components of yourself, but you're not necessarily sure how
How it's like constructed? Like,
No, you know how you're constructed because you've had enough time to like tinker and figure out how your warforged body works. You just don't know how your sentience, how your personality came
okay,
to be in this body.
okay.
That's
But
still a little bit of
You
a
also
mystery.
know how we found you.
Yeah, and you explained it to me.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you saw the room when you woke up, too.
So, I suppose I can explain the technical aspects of the Warforged as a race,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just go with that.
Okay.
Okay.
And that probably takes a few minutes to explain. That's not something you can explain in short order.
Right, right.
But Drix is sort of nodding and almost like looking upward and backward as if they're thinking the entire time you're speaking. And then as you finish, they say, yes, I understand. Interesting. This is indeed new knowledge.
Okay. Are we square then?
Yes,
Okay.
we are square.
Should we ask
I
about?
suppose.
So we know she's at the top tower.
Should we ask about
Alive.
what is putting her life in danger? What the
And
threat
do we
is?
know how many more floors we have to go to get to the top?
I will
Yes.
tell you
We're on
now,
the second
as far as
floor.
what is putting her life in danger precisely, I cannot say.
Oh, okay.
I'm bound to this library, and whatever Helja struggles with in the top room of the tower did not come this way.
Should we ask about the elephant?
Well,
I don't think that's our mission. I mean, we can if you're willing to.
if we have excess information, we probably could. But
Yeah.
if we have more pressing things that we need to talk about right now, we can do this first.
What do you want that you're willing to part with?
I don't know. I'm just wondering if we need more information or if we have the information that we need now.
Well, I wasn't searching for anything specific besides Helja or her whereabouts.
We know where she is. We know her life's in danger.
Is there?
We know she's still alive.
I have a question. Do you mind paying for it?
Me? What's your
What's the
question?
I've already paid. Is there a way to negate the effects of song that you sign in the song of this place?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Or we could just ask
That is
her.
a question that I have an answer for.
It could just be no, though.
It could. You're very astute, my
Yeah,
forged friend.
yeah. Because of all the other fog and all the other places, I would assume it's like no.
Or can we like
We
We
borrow
can
your
we can ask for a map. Is
we
what we
could
could
ask
do.
him
We
to
could ask for him to
borrow-
give us a map.
or
and then we
borrow
can just
the
follow the
magical
walls.
lantern that takes the mist away.
Well,
Well,
it would be nice to. It would be nice to get rid of the mist. You're right.
There could be
The
more.
way I see it, if the answer is no, you won't have to give it very much in return for that.
That's true. Sure. Let's ask him.
Your question is whether there is a way to do away with the mists.
Yes.
There is a way to do away with the mists, and I will be generous and tell you what it is.
You just said no.
A simple dispel magic spell of a certain level, of a certain amount of power, should be able to do away with one of the effects that guards this tower. Not all, mind you, but one, such as the fog.
What if there's something else that we need to get rid of?
Right? I see that.
I mean, but you can do dispel magic.
I heal this place.
Oh.
Now, that's not an easy spell to cast.
Okay.
So maybe a way out of this before we go up to the tower.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that.
As this conversation is starting to go on for a little bit longer,
She hasn't paid for that question.
oh, that's true. That's true. Drix would know this. Ethan skipped over it, but Drix knows. Now, your payment.
Have you heard of the Eyes of the World?
I know of the organization, yes, by name.
Do you know what they're after?
I have a vague idea of some of their motivations.
Well, perhaps we can give you information about them that you don't already know.
It was a small question, and I will accept this information in exchange. What, pray tell, is the objective of the Eyes of the World in Ferndale?
No, that's the question.
Or Freeland, rather. The continent, not the city.
Where's my notes?
We actually don't know what they're up to.
They are.
Yeah, we do.
Well, we do.
Oh.
They are.
I have the thing here.
Oh, that's right.
They are after powerful souls and artifacts, working together with another organization known as the Hand.
Powerful souls. Interesting.
Yes, we came across them in the ocean, in the sea, in the lake, the Heart Lake, on our way here, and they somehow managed to suck out the soul of a giant, a storm giant.
Yeah, the storm giant.
Interesting.
We tried to stop them, but we failed.
It is some power that allows one to steal the soul of another, to manipulate it at all. I will take this even as a warning, an advisory. So, for that additional warning, I'll allow you one small bit of information.
What other spells are guarding this tower that we should be aware of?
If you're going up, you should know the fog and webs will continue. And the ancestral guardians, the gargoyles that were tamed and transformed and molded by the dwarves of long ago, will continue to plague you. In addition, Helja has set the strongest of her wards nearest to her most defensible chamber, where she currently resides. So be cautious in your approach.
Secret passageways? We already found one. Maybe there's more leading to her.
Well, by my reckoning, we are currently even,
I know.
so that would take more.
I was more for us if we wanted to ask more and continue the conversation.
I think we can find it ourselves. We're a scrappy group.
Yeah, we've
Already
already dealt with
pay him more.
these
Yeah.
statues.
Is there anything else that we want to have?
I think our mission is clear at this point.
I mean, technically we completed the mission, but we could go and attempt to rescue her as well.
I mean,
Maybe if there's some way to signal her that we're allies, because at this point she's just going to have all the defenses after us, the same as her pursuers. So maybe if there's some
How does your
ward
message
that we can
message
use.
her?
no, it's a limited range. So I have to get within 120 feet. But if we were like outside the door, and
I'm
there was
gonna
no spell walking,
Try and ask this
maybe.
question.
Okay.
And say, what I want to know is if there's some sort of like friendly
So I was thinking
sign that we can
get
use for
close.
Helja to know that we're not hostile.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's not after you. She knows that you're friendly.
Yes, well, she bound me here to this
Sure,
tower,
But
so
is there?
she
Yeah,
knows that I am no threat to her.
sure.
Others, on the other hand, well,
Ooh,
anyways,
should
your
we ask
question.
if there's
Yeah.
anybody else in the tower?
I don't think that'll
You do have a bit of information to trade for
I
it.
do.
Because we asked what the name, which was
Um,
the name character, and we didn't know.
Drix will say,
But on different levels.
I would wager that if you call to her in the name of her clan, the Ironshield clan, or give the name of a close acquaintance that she might know, that would assure your friendly disposition towards her. Helja is reasonable. She's intelligent.
Okay. So there's nothing specific. There's not like a code word.
No,
Or
we
something.
could just mention CLs.
Okay, that's fine.
Do you need to pay him now?
Yeah.
Did you just ask him?
Yeah, I did. Do you know the language of binary?
Of what? I know all languages, but this one I do not.
And then I'm gonna start
Stop speaking
speaking.
nonsense.
I'm gonna start speaking in binary to him, and just be like, "This is the language of binary and binary."
This is interesting because for the first little bit you're speaking binary, Drix is like looks absolutely like dumbstruck. Like, what is this? This person is clearly lying to me. This isn't a language.
Yeah.
However, as Drix starts to listen,
He probably
you see sort of a light of recognition and knowledge flash in Drix's eyes. And after, like, what are you saying in binary?
I pretty much just said things like, "This is the language of binary."
Okay, just over and over and over again?
Like a couple times until he wants me to say something else or something. I figured
At one point,
I-
he says, say something else.
I said, "Your name is Drix," and I would do that in binary.
Say it again, a couple more times.
Yeah, and I would just keep saying that 1001010.
And after a few minutes of this, Drix starts speaking 00101, and it's coherent
like-
knowledge, and it's coherent. It's a little broken,
Okay.
but he manages to get off a sentence and
And
says,
then I could
"Is this
also
correct? Is this correct?"
Yeah, and I would correct him, but I could also say, well, there's also a written text too,
I don't know.
but maybe that's for another question.
The written text seems easy
It's a
enough
new
based
one.
on the spoken.
Or
And he like pulls out a book and starts writing
Writing.
zeros and ones.
well, I meant
I
like
understand.
no.
Interesting.
Well, also like, never mind. I don't want to go into base 10, but yeah, there's other stuff too. Okay.
So
Alright.
yeah, actually, it took Drix a number of minutes to pick up binary.
Oh, I see. That's a long time. Okay.
Well, no, it's not a long time really when you consider how much goes into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that sufficient? Or more than? Okay. Does that mean that we can ask another question for free?
It is small, perhaps.
Okay. Anything else we have?
Which is the best level? to
Sorry,
find
no,
it.
sorry, that is something. Is there a fiction section here?
Yes. Would you like me to guide you to it?
Maybe later.
I hope that wasn't the
Well,
question.
be aware
but
that
yes.
if
That is
Helya's life
What
force
did he
drains, I may
Is
not
there a
be here
fiction
to guide
section?
you in the future.
ask. No,
Well, then I better not waste time looking for it.
Don't you mean young adult romance
I meant what I
section?
said. I said what I said, and I meant that.
Is there anything else that we need?
No, let's get out of here.
Okay.
Well then, it seems as if our deals are concluded. And Drix starts to like back away, back into the fog.
Oh,
the way
wait.
that he came.
Did we want to get like a map to leave and go up? Or are we just going to fumble our way through for a few hours?
Oh, you mean to leave the
Yes.
library? No, we can climb to the top of the shelf.
Yeah, we can see like if that is will like jump up there and start helping people up.
All right, if you guys are sure.
We're fine.
Then
How do
yes,
can we call you easily if we need to?
Drix,
Just shout for him? Yeah.
if you're within the library and you need my assistance, yes, call for me.
Okay.
You may find me.
Thanks. All right, that's all I got for him.
And Drix sort of like fades back into the fog, and as the lantern, the small radius of the lantern fades backwards, you find yourself again blinded by this fog that is all around you, oppressive, never present.
I'm gonna jump back up to the top of the bookshelf.
Okay.
And like lower a hand down and like call out to them. Look, over here, sound my voice. I'm lowering a hand.
It's easy
How
enough.
tall is the
They're
tree?
like 15 feet tall,
So we can probably reach it.
so you can climb up.
Like it's a ladder.
I mean, they're a little,
Yeah,
they're not
they're
super sturdy.
Does that, mean
I'm
that,
also 4 feet tall.
does that mean that I can climb it?
You can with like help from both the
Okay,
bottom
I was,
and the top.
I was more worried about structural integrity of the
Yeah.
bookshelves. But
I mean, once you get on top, it's fine. It's
Yeah,
more
yeah,
than
yeah,
like they're thick shelves, so they're not super wobbly, but like
okay.
as you
There
climb
are-
up, they are a little
Sure.
wobbly.
All right, so we're all up here then.
That's helpful knowledge.
So back towards the entrance.
Yes.
Yeah, we should be looking for the staircase from here.
Okay, well, the staircase that you came from, you sort of
Wood covered statue infested staircase.
yes. So you came up that staircase into sort of like an interim room where there was an entrance into the library, and then there were a couple other passageways, and then there was a stairway going up from that room. But the ceiling of that room was only like 20 feet, so it was sort of like you would surmise like a between layers room, a junction.
So can we barricade ourselves in there and take a rest?
Maybe we should check it out and see. I'm exhausted, you guys.
I know, but he said her life is fading fast.
Yeah, but we're
But
gonna
we're not
be.
gonna be-
We have to look out for ourselves
No, our
first.
lives are gonna
Yeah.
be fading fast by the time we get up
There
there.
wouldn't be.
We've cleared 2 floors, and I don't know how much more magic you guys have, but
None.
if you're empty, then that's
I mean,
really
I'm pretty
dangerous.
close to empty, I think.
It would be wise for us to rest.
He exists.
Darken level.
So you're going to get into the interim room and then.
Well, let's check out the top of the stairs, the room at the top of the stairs,
Yeah, I think we can at least do that.
Okay.
and then see if it's like somewhere that we can barricade ourselves in.
The stairs going up are webbed, but you have firebolts, so
Yeah,
that's easy enough
firebolts
to
and
clear.
swords.
You make your way up into the room that is above this interim room, and it is very similar to the room you just came from. The first staircase you came up, except that the initial floor's staircase ascended something like 100 feet, whereas you can, at the edge of your dark vision, see the ceiling of this room something like 50 feet above.
So this room isn't fogged.
No, the chamber itself is not, but you can see that the stairway that proceeds along the wall, similar to the initial chamber with the big stairway, is webbed in the same way.
Now that we're out of the fog.
And also there's that central area where there's sort of like the drifting sparkles of light, which you set your torch in and it flew upwards before.
Now that we're out of the fog, and
Do we see the torch?
Not here, no.
Oh.
Okay,
so are we gonna take a rest?
what were you gonna say? Now that we're out of the fog?
I wanted to show you the blueprint that I got with the arcane writing.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious and want to look at it too.
You don't speak Dwarvish, do you?
I do.
You do?
I think
Okay.
I do too.
So
yeah, she does too.
between
This is
with
why we have 2 people with dwarves and 1 person with a Arcana sword.
Yeah.
so basically you
I'm
can
gonna
help
do
each
that.
other. So Harmony can make an Arcana check at advantage because of their helping.
Okay. I'm not proficient in Arcana though. Yeah. I'm not a wizard.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Natural 20.
Natural 20, okay. You very quickly reading through this sort of with their help, like they have to read the parts that are in Dwarfish, and then you sort of come in when there's arcane sigils and things like that that have to be translated. And fortunately, most of them are contained within the notes you have from your time spent with Cial, so you can easily cross-reference those. Specifically the section that details abjuration magic. And you find that these blueprints and documents that Thaddeus has brought you detail the construction and use of a magic item, which essentially allows you to you have to, as part of the construction, build a tower, and then cast several rituals and spells into it to then cause the tower to be able to shrink and grow, and then with a proper command word, which is also contained within these notes. The command word is actually, it's a dwarfish phrase, it's protection be to the house of Ironshield. And with this, by speaking this command word, you can cause the structure of this item, which when it is shrunk, to grow back into the fortress, or you can cause it to shrink into something that is more portable. And at the end, there's scribblings and sort of like names crossed out and things like that. And it is Helja's portable fortress.
Can I roll a wisdom check here or an insight check or something
So sort of, what do you want to do?
to know the thing that I already know?
I mean,
For Thaddeus to put it together because he's not like imagining.
well, Harmony is explaining to you how it works.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, you know what this is as a player, so
Right.
that's fine.
Yeah.
And Harmony is explaining to you what it does.
Yeah, and as
Did
she's,
you actually pick up the
as
tower?
she's explaining, and it says, "Do not say that command word." And he like gingerly reaches into his pocket
Because it was in
and
his
pulls out the thing and places it on the floor and backs away.
And it looks like a chess piece, like a rook,
That's
which
cool.
is the tower piece.
I'll pick
of
it up
course.
and look at it.
And it has very, very minute and detailed structure to it. You can see like the individual tiny bricks in it, I guess they're more like adamantine plates. It's metal, but and then at the very top, at the crenellations, there's these on each of the four corners. There are these dwarven shield guardians, just sort of like perched and
We're
looking over
definitely
the
keeping
edges.
this.
Oh, we're keeping it, but this is a really bad place to use it.
Yeah.
So, do you think if we make it bigger, it'll be bigger than this whole room?
That's my fear.
Can we
Does it
shrink
say
down
the
to go
dimensions?
With
inside
your
the little
natural
tiny
20
thing?
on your check, yes, there are dimensions in there. I'd have to look it up. But I believe it's something like a
Let's shrink
15-foot
down and go
cube
in
and then 30 feet tall or something
It's
like
30
that.
feet tall, and we're in a room that's 50 feet tall?
Yes.
So we could probably make it.
Maybe so. That would be it would be a great place to rest.
It would be like, it's like our own portable like hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Our own little fortress.
I
We
was
can take
really
this as
excited
payment
that
for
this was
saving
the
our
item you found your way to.
That is backs away and says, let's experiment.
Alright. I'll put
Wait,
it.
what? What's the dimensions?
He said it's like 30 feet tall and. Right? 30 feet tall.
I'm checking right now.
Yeah, hang on a
Ish.
second.
Let's do portraits. There we go. Oh, wait. Yes. Oh, actually, so it's Helja's instant fortress. If that's not what I said before.
That's not me. So good.
Said portable.
Portable instance. Same
So
thing.
it is 20 feet on a side. It's a cube, 20 feet on a side, and 30 feet high total.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like an inflatable tent, or like a bounce house.
And
Good job,
there's
Thaddeus.
detailed into the blueprints. It says that it has 2 floors to it.
Awesome.
So each floor has like a 15-foot ceiling, basically.
Nice. And we're in a room that's 50-foot ceiling, right?
Was there any other command words in there for like the guardians, so that they don't attack us?
As far as you can tell, by
The command word will.
essentially in the book, so Hunter gets concerned that the Guardians will animate and attack them.
Right.
However, you can tell through your reading of the blueprints and such, the Guardians that are detailed on the crenellations are purely decorative. They're not
okay.
actually going to animate and attack anything.
Oh, okay.
Alright, shall we crack it open? Sleep in nice beds?
Yeah,
Give it a
let's
try.
try
That's
it.
pretty awesome. Alright.
What if there's food in there?
And we verified there's enough space in this.
Yeah, I mean, in
Area.
this center room, it's a very wide,
Let's just not make it
Circular
touch the
area.
floaty thing.
so
Right.
and there's definitely enough room to set it up.
Alright, I'll stick it on the ground and I'll say the command word.
Okay, and you have to back away from it, obviously.
Right.
But
I back away first.
you set it down, back away, speak the command word, and this tower just erupts almost instantaneously from the chess piece.
I'm
And
thinking
there's basically in the side facing you, there is a single door, just sort of like a metal door in the wall. And you can see going around the structure of the tower, there are arrow slits along the sides.
That's nice.
So that things
Okay
can be
with that.
cast from within with a little bit of cover.
Does the fog enter it?
Currently
Well,
in
we're
the
not in
main
the foggy
chamber,
area.
yeah,
Oh,
in the
not in
big
the fog.
chamber, there's no
Okay,
fog.
there's no fog. Okay.
I run in, squealing.
The door swings open for you, and as you walk in, it's a completely barren 15-foot or 20-foot by 20-foot square room on the inside. But there is a ladder that goes upward, sort of at the far end of the room. And there's another 15 or 20-foot by 20-foot square room, and the ladder continues upward to a hatch, a trap door, which you can pull open, and you find yourself standing on the top crenellations of this tower, sort of at the backs of the shield gargoyles as they sort of look down with their hammers in one hand and their shields protecting.
Well, it's not very comfortable, but it's secure.
I wonder if we could put furniture in here. And if it would shrink with the tower. Because we could really, like, lavish this place up.
We could try.
We could try. But I'm a bit tired.
Yeah, me
right
too.
Alright.
So get out our bedrolls from our
We've
knapsacks.
got bedrolls and stuff.
Yeah.
We sleep on the hard floor, second floor.
Sure.
Is there a way that we can barricade the door? Or is there a lock on the door?
Reading the blueprints, you know that when closed, the door will only open for the person who spoke the command word.
Oh, so you guys are trapped in here too.
Does it mean that only the person that spoke the command first can
Oh,
also
sorry.
only
Hold
speak
on.
it again?
The door only opens at your command, which you can speak as a bonus action. So I'm reading that as only the person who activates the tower can speak a command to open the door.
Right.
And then are they still the only person that can make it
Yes.
small.
Yes.
So like Helja can't come down and be like, hey, and
Yes.
then squish us all to death.
I think
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
Yeah. As long as it's large, it's under my command.
This is a very cool item, and I was really happy that you found it.
I'm really happy that
I
we
like it
found it too. This is amazing.
I want to explore the rest of that.
I know.
All right, yeah, that's fine. We can.
I'm keeping it.
However, reading through the blueprints, you also know there's a weakness to it, which is that it's very, very, very hard to repair. So
Okay.
keep that in mind.
Good to know. Good to know. Keep it sacred. Keep it safe.
So, you find your rest in the tower,
Yes.
rather uneasily, as it's just sort of dark outside.
I imagine we would have to like lay out the bedrolls and stuff.
Do we want to stand watch, or do you think we're okay? Because the door can't be opened.
Well, if there's pursuers going for Helja, who knows where they're going to
I
come
think
from?
that's a good idea. To have a watch, not
Yeah.
for our sake, but for Helja's.
Okay, I'll take the first watch.
I'll take second.
Okay. How long are we sleeping?
Usually,
8 hours.
we usually
need
need
8
three
hours.
people.
And you only sleep.
I only
4
need to
hours.
sleep. I only need 4 hours.
But
so.
you need to be resting for 8.
Yeah, but I can do little things. So
So
we
you
only
could
need
take.
2
You
watches.
really could take first and last,
Yeah. It's fine.
or you could take third and fourth,
Mm,
because we've got first, second, third, and
Yeah,
fourth.
that sounds good.
Since you're gonna be awake anyway. And I'll just sleep.
Your watches each pass without too much incident. Thaddeus, when you take your watch, just because you're so sure that time is of the essence, you constantly feel as if you hear noises coming from above, but you're not sure whether it's like paranoia or whether it's that you're actually hearing these noises. But you swear you hear movements and creaking and like at one point in the night, you swear you hear a shriek or something like that.
It's just harmony.
can I, for my 4 hours of little stuff, or of not sleeping, can I work on my invention?
Huh? I couldn't hear because of the dogs.
Can I work on the invention?
Yes.
Yes. Come here, goodness, get
Right.
something.
Do we get our rest tonight? Break on my
Yep, you can take a rest.
Okay.
But I think this
So
should be
we're
the
not
last
like-
one.
We're not like interrupted.
Well,
Nope,
I thought I
nothing
put it
interrupts
in
you.
here.
Thaddeus has a little bit of paranoia, but that's about it.
Okay.
Now I
And
need to look something.
I need to roll. So you get to level up now. You're level 6 now.
Yeah, so go ahead and take care of that. I need to look something up anyways.
I already did my level, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean she prepared hers. She just needs to. And then I have to roll
Yes.
1d8
Table
plus
of
2.
leveling people?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, great. I only get 4 charges back.
Out of how many?
That's, well, I had 5 expended, so.
I wonder if they got it out of here already.
The chicken jerky?
Yeah, because I can't find it.
That's what she was eating earlier.
Maybe.
You should get out of your bed.
Because it's not in here, and I know I know I put it in there.
He's smart like that.
Because it's hanging right here. You could easily get it out.
We've learned. Okay, I think I'm all set. Oh,
I've been recording the progress on the other ones too.
Oh, have you?
I like what I rolled and stuff and what you told me I need to do.
Come here, let's go to the light.
I rolled really well on the other one.
Which one? Okay, so what is
So I
it you're
have
working
one
on
that's the
exactly?
battery recharging, and I rolled a 21 and a nat 20.
So what do you want to work on for this rest?
How close am I to finishing the battery thing?
How many successes do you have?
Well, a 21 and a natural 20. I don't know what
So
a
you've
success
got
is.
2 successes. You're pretty close
Okay.
to finishing up your battery recharge.
Do I feel like I could finish it?
Potentially, yeah. you
Okay,
could
so I would
put
try
the
that one
finishing
first, and then I would do the sword and shield one next.
Okay. So go ahead and make your tinkering check with dexterity.
Okay, I got 16.
16. That's enough.
Okay,
Since you've
cool.
had so much success so far, you finally, with your last bit of your rest before you sort of find yourself getting tired, put on the finishing touches that are required to make this device. How is it going to work? Is it like a crank thing? How are you going to charge the batteries?
I guess it would be kind of like a flashlight crank or something, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That message, you know.
That makes the most sense to me right now.
That's 30. Okay.
Okay. Then we can go with that.
Okay.
26. And you have this. Let's hold it.
Okay. That was what I needed to check. Gosh, that took way too long.
Okay.
As you wake, you find yourself in the same dark room as before. Since there's no real windows into this central shaft, it's just sort of continuously dark unless torches or something would be lit. And the room is quiet. So what would you like to do?
Well, shall we go up?
Let's go up. Not wasting more time.
Alright.
So we'll leave the portable fortress.
Well,
Is
say
it
the
what was it
word.
called? The
The,
Helja's Instant
Instant
Fortress.
instant fortress.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll say the word and I'll pick it up and I'll say, oh, hang on to this.
We should.
Stick it in my bag.
Okay.
As you make your way slowly up the stairs, burning webs as you go, you come to a patch where there are no webs, and it's sort of like a 15-foot gap as well. However, you notice, notably, sort of on the ledge where you're standing and the alcove in the center of that one, and then on the far side, there are crumbled rocks, broken rocks, that you sort of resemble when you shattered the gargoyles down below.
So these ones
Somebody
are
has
already
been
there.
there before us.
Gargoyle that's in the patch of no webs, gone.
Yes. The
Yeah,
alcoves
there's
are
shadows.
empty. The alcoves are empty, and there are shattered remains of gargoyles.
So we're fine, but there might still be a mud trap.
Yeah, stairs do seem to be there.
Oh.
Can I take, is there a piece of rock that I can reach without going into the...
Yeah.
Can I pick it up and throw it?
Just sort of out to the middle.
Yeah.
It lands, dum, dum, tuk, tuk, tum, rolls a little bit, and then falls off the edge, where it hits with a loud, resounding clatter that echoes throughout the room.
After you!
Yeah. Thaddeus will walk up first and being
I'm staying
taking
back
special
tonight.
care to watch his feet, see if anything
Okay.
happens.
Make a dexterity save at advantage then, as you get to about the middle and a light flashes.
Okay.
You can sort of guess that it wouldn't have triggered on a rock, but it will trigger on a person.
I was just checking. That's awful.
Roll a 3 and 4. So
Okay.
that works out to a 7.
All right, Thaddeus, the stairs crumble to mud beneath you, and because there's sort of a flash of light, and then the stairs crumble to mud. To remember, and sort of you hear that grinding of stone sound below
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
trough comes out, and you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you are then slammed down into the trough that extends from the wall, catching the mud and you quickly stand back up. Make then a strength saving throw.
Not an advantage.
You know what's coming. Make it at advantage.
This be better.
That was
No,
worse.
Can't. 11. 11.
Yeah, the stone solidifies around your feet. However, no gargoyles leap out to attack you.
How far down did it fall?
You fell down about 15 feet and then landed in this trough, and then you were climbing your way back out when the stone solidified around your feet.
Are you
It's
okay?
not like
Do you need me to come and get you?
it's not as if you'd been your foot had been caught in cement so much. It's not perfectly smooth rock. You feel like you could pry it apart with enough force and time.
Instead, I'm just going to do some step out.
Yeah, and you end up on the other
On the other
side.
Guess not.
So can I?
Follow along.
Somebody's
We don't want to
paying.
go down there.
Is
Because
it?
we want to go.
I
up.
can't remember the last staircase, but after it was triggered once, could it be triggered again? How did we get across it?
We
Well, now there's
climber
just a
stood it.
blank
Oh
space.
yeah,
in
that's
between.
right. It was
We wanna-
empty.
We want to cross. So
And after about a minute, there's a as the
Right,
stone
you could have
trough.
just jumped over it instead of walking out into it.
This is true.
I wanted to see if it was still
I know.
active.
I know.
so can I lasso him to help him, and we all pull him?
No, he's got
He's already up.
He got up.
Oh, I
He-
thought
he
his
used
feet were
magic to-
stuck.
He
No,
used
he
magic.
sort of disappeared in a
Oh,
cloud of
I
mist
missed
and then
that.
reappeared on
Sorry.
the stairs.
Sorry. Well, I was gonna see if I could use my cantrip to get you out, but you were just so hasty. So, never mind. Yes. Thaddeus?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna come back and get me, or do I have to climb like these guys?
Are you already putting pipings in?
Yep,
Yeah.
we already started.
Alright,
How funny do you think it was that I fell to the sand?
And I just hand harmony like a hammer.
It was more sad than funny.
And that is what happened with her.
Alright, so you hop back across and you
Yeah.
carry her with your jumping boots.
And as
I can get hard.
Are you gonna laugh at me?
And
once
I'll-
we get to the other side, I go, but it was a little bit funny.
Push her off.
And I'm just like, just help
It
her
was a
too.
little bit funny.
Make climber's kit checks. So use dexterity and proficiency
Dexterity.
Yeah, Mara, I can help you.
Oh, I didn't do very
It's
well.
all
Or I
about
suppose
that
strength.
dexterity.
would be acceptable.
Athletics?
Yeah, do
or-
you want to
Sure,
be carried
athletics.
across?
Okay,
Or
I
do
got
you-
No,
a
I'm fine.
19.
And you can take it at advantage as well because Mara is.
I rolled 19.
Okay.
Do you want me to reroll?
No, that's fine.
It's
That's perfectly
athletics.
fine. You get the.
Plus-
13.
plus-
No,
Are you proficient
Four
with
under
climbers?
5, right? 5 or under.
No.
No.
Yeah, she's proficient in athletics.
Well,
Well,
do you get
athletics
this climber's kit a tool?
And I believe she has proficiency in it.
Oh, yeah,
with-
yeah.
Do you have proficiency in climbers kits? That would be down here.
I
No,
don't
she
think
doesn't.
So.
Okay. Well, either way, Hunter manages to get the pipings in,
That.
so you can climb across easily enough,
Okay.
especially with the roll you roll. So everyone gets across after a few minutes or so.
We have to do this 3 more times. Should we
And-
just keep going up the stairs?
I feel like we should.
Yeah.
She's at the top of the tower.
Yeah,
studying.
since we know she's at the top. Like, I would love to like explore this whole tower, but it sounds like time is of the essence.
Yeah, I
And
guess
we
we
spent
better.
8
I
hours
guess we
resting.
better.
I was tired.
As you get up the rest of the way toward the, like I said, this room has sort of a 50-foot ceiling as opposed to the 100-foot of the first floor. You come up into another one of those seemingly interim rooms, except for this one doesn't have actually the walls that the other one had that separated the library ring and the other one. Instead, there's corridors that branch out, and you can see that they go down long hallways and open up into several rooms, sort of in each direction. There's sort of each direction you look. There's like even diagonally. There's 8 corridor branches from here. Each one goes down a long corridor, and each corridor has 5 or 6 doors on each side.
Are there stairs up from here?
Yes, and then there's another staircase that continues straight upwards.
Hunter's also
Yeah,
looking
we
for
have
the
to-
source of the explosion that we heard.
Okay. Make a perception check.
So that's okay. 12.
Well, okay. Down one of the corridors to the to your left, we'll say. You can see sort of. Oh, you wouldn't see. There would be fog filling these corridors. But if you take a minute to just sort of explore a little bit, we'll say that you take a minute to explore through
Okay,
the
yeah,
corridors
sure.
a little bit, since you already rolled for it.
Yeah.
Does it also have like super good healing?
You find down the corridor to your left that there is a room that is ajar. And if you sort of peek your head into that room, the fog doesn't extend into the room. And you can see the room clearly. And there is, basically the room is a small living chamber. There's like what looks like a bed frame, but there's no mattress or sheets or anything on it. And then there's a small trunk at the foot of that. And then there's like a little wardrobe. But it's completely empty and barren of like any decoration or decor or anything like that. However, the most striking feature of this room is that there is a big hole blown in the side of the wall. And as you go over to look out of the hole, you find yourself looking down onto the city of Ferendel, the streets below. You can see the taxis sort of bustling about, and there's people. There's not too many people near the base of the tower, but a little ways off you can see people in what looks like a small marketplace.
Okay. Here's where the explosion was.
Yeah, and there's like rubble all throughout this room as well.
Maybe this is the entry point for the
For
sewers.
whoever's, yeah. Should we
Really
look
pretty.
around for evidence?
So I'm gonna like look I'm gonna like peek my head out of the tower and like look and see if there's like someone climbed up or down, like and around the outside of it.
Make another perception check.
Yeah, that's a good
That
idea.
is a 16.
Search
Look
for
for like shrapnel from a bomb,
Yeah.
gunpowder, things like that.
Let's search for clues.
So 16 here.
Okay. You don't find any signs that someone scaled the tower. There's no pipes that have been punched in or anything like that. And you don't find any holes in your immediate sight that indicate that they were there and then have been removed.
Okay.
However, what you do find with that check is the remains of some mechanical device. There's like shards of metal, and there's you sort of like pick them up and investigate them a little bit.
Are they big hunter parts?
It's could be.
Of the same handiwork, maybe?
It's a similar metal,
Uh-oh.
but that doesn't necessarily mean that
Sure,
they're part
okay.
of a warforged body.
Okay. But there's mechanisms that were used.
Yeah, something metallic or mechanical of some nature was used to blow a hole in this wall.
Okay.
Then that's all I need.
Yeah.
Something mechanical.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right.
This is like confirming that is his bias right here.
Okay.
Let's just keep going up then, because if it entered here, it's probably
It's got a long head start on this.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
We had that explosion 8 hours ago.
Yeah.
Let's go. Go back to
So
the
you
stairs.
continue up the stairs back out of the interim room, and once more you find yourself in a spiraling tower upward with the spiral stair going around this central shaft, which has this glowing beam of light that goes upwards, just slowly drifting up.
I wonder if it would be quicker just to jump in there and get lifted all the way up.
I am fairly sure that's what anyone who comes to this tower is supposed to think.
And then they'll be transported away forever.
Or there's some kind of deadly trap at the ceiling that you'll have no power to rip yourself from.
Yeah, like our torch friend.
You still haven't seen
Hey,
the torch.
the torch might be okay. We haven't seen it.
Schrodinger's torch.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Tried and true stair method.
Yeah.
Okay, as you go up the stairs, you again see that there were gargoyles here, and there is again a blank patch of stairs. But I'm just going to assume you guys don't fall for it this time. Find your way
I
around.
think this one's safe.
So there's that blank patch where there's no webs, and you're sure there would be a mud trap, and there's broken gargoyles there as well.
Maybe someone was stuck in the mud.
Or maybe it had been triggered and
Yeah.
redone or something. I don't know.
That's a good thought.
But you make your way past that, and this ceiling again goes up about. This one is sort of a longer ceiling again. It goes up like 100 feet, and there are small branches off of this one that go into various other rooms. And if you just sort of peek your head inside them, you can see that they're the sort of utility rooms that are necessary for running a large establishment. Like you find a small like a kitchen and a dining hall and things like that. But you don't have to like search thoroughly to figure that out. That's just you just sort of peek in and you can tell, oh, this must have been a dining hall at one point. And you make your way up again to another interim room. However, this one is slightly different in that it is lavishly decorated with the colors and crests of the Ironshield family. And instead of the spiral staircase going up around the side of this one, there is a door. There's no more stairway up continuing from here. There is a door in one of the walls, and it seems to be the only way forward. And it has the Ironshield crest, that shield that is embossed upon the sort of bluish background.
How many floors have we gone up now?
This must be at least the fourth.
And how many floors are there total? I mean, how many layers of the city are there?
4.
So this should be the top.
That should be the top. I don't see a way up from here.
Okay. Can I examine the door and see if it has like?
I haven't finished describing the room. Just hold on a second.
Sorry.
The
I mean, see.
Yeah, I understand. There's one more feature of the room, and I have a feeling that this will draw Harmony's eyes more than anything else.
So shiny.
There is the end of that column of light shaft. It sort of comes up to the. There's sort of like a structure around the center of the tower that almost looks like a gazebo, and the light sort of hits against the top of the inside of this gazebo, the inside of the roof, and you can see your torch and bottle are floating at the very
they're
top.
okay.
There.
Can I?
But how would you get out of that?
You want to like mage hand them
Yeah,
out?
I want to see if I can mage hand them out.
You can do it.
Might get my
And
bottle
there's stairs to go up to the gazebo level, so you can sort of get close to them easily. However, those stairways then continue up a little bit farther to a platform that is at the very top of this arcane levitator shaft that goes throughout the center of the tower. And at the very top of this, the stairs going up around this central structure, there is a pedestal. And on the pedestal, it's sort of just like the stonework pedestal with like fine scrolling work in the stonework. Sitting atop it, sort of enclosed in like a metal brace almost, is a gem of incredible radiant beauty. It's a diamond, and it just sort of, even in the gloom and darkness, it seems to shine and radiate.
Is it similar shape to the one that was missing in the temple?
That is seen
Yeah, I think I'm the only one that went up
Oh,
there.
okay, I see.
Yeah, and this would definitely, Harmony is the only one who went up there, but
So it's
possible.
where is it?
It's at the, so
jewel?
basically,
I mean, I know I went up the stairs, but like, is it
It's-
covering?
there's a pedestal, and then on top of the pedestal, there's sort of like an iron grip, like a brace that is holding the gem in place,
Okay.
like loosely holding it in.
Okay.
Right.
And it is like, when I say it is a beautiful gem, I mean it is large and it is like clear and sparkly. It is probably the most beautiful gem you have ever seen.
I'm gonna mage hand it out of there.
Okay.
Harmony, are you ready to get in the fight over this thing?
I saw it first. I saw it first.
I'm
You
sitting
pass
right beside
mage
you.
No,
hand.
you're not.
Are you going up the stairs after her?
Yeah.
Okay, you get up to the top of the stairs as you see her mage hand trying from the bottom of it, the spectral hand just sort of drifted underneath it, and she tries to lift up, but it is beyond the weight limit of your mage hand.
Oh.
You can't
So-
pull it up out of there.
It's
I whip
heavy.
out my rope and try to lasso it.
Okay. So you're sort of standing from how do you? You're just sort of like from afar throwing it on there. That would be difficult because it's sort of in this brace. You could.
Why don't you just go up and just pick it up, Mara? Pick it up with
Can
your
you
hand.
back
What
up
up?
to
Don't
it?
touch anything. Wait a second. And that is climbs the stairs after.
Okay.
You lift it up with your mage hand and I'll grab it
you
with my
see
lasso.
I can't
The
lift it up
same
with my mage hand. It's too
diamond.
heavy.
It's like to give it a size. It is like the size of a small soccer ball, perhaps. But it is sort of cut in sort of the shape that you would find a D12 in. Sort of that sort of like it has these
Like this.
defined sides to it.
Does it look like the same? I'm gonna ask the same question that Mara asked, basically, but I would actually ask.
It does. It looks bigger than what would have fit into the shield in Asadahen's temple.
So probably not.
Yeah, I thought about casting detect magic on it, but
That's a
detect magic
no.
in this place is just a bad idea.
Let me see. Did I write a description for this gem? I think
I'd assume it's magical though.
I'm actually. I think I'm actually gonna cast locate object just to make absolutely sure this is a magic.
Okay. Sort of looking for. 'Cause you can
I'm
cast
gonna name the gem from it's not his shield.
And the radius for that is like a mile,
1,000 feet.
1,000 feet. Okay.
So
Um,
significantly less than a mile.
Yeah.
But more than 10 feet from
Yeah, you don't sense the presence of that particular gem within 1,000 feet.
Well, if we can go up to it, I have a crowbar.
You can go up to it.
Why?
Wait, don't we have other pressing
We
things
have
to
a
do?
mission here.
Yeah, you guys go figure out that door. We'll handle this.
So, if anyone wants to make me I'm trying to figure out what check it would be, perhaps intelligence check. Yeah, let's just say intelligence.
For what?
Well, there's some information I want to confer to someone who rolls significant.
Not that is.
Ooh.
Thaddeus probably wouldn't even care about this, so that makes sense.
14.
Um,
Well, that's just your intelligence, which is
straight
regular.
intelligence 14.
Minus 2.
Oh.
14. We all got 14.
Oh,
14.
And I thought I rolled a good one for once.
You have sort of a brief discussion, those of you who are looking at it, probably particularly
Us.
Mara and Harmony, about how much this might be worth exactly. And guesses are thrown out without being, without, as you would imagine, being exaggeration. You can guess this thing would cost, or this thing could sell for anywhere between 7,000 and 12,000 gold.
Woo!
It's almost as much as what we have right now.
Think about how many
Just kidding.
necklaces you can make out of it. It's so shiny.
I'm a
So
little bit worried that thing may power the entire tower. Go ahead, remove it from its location.
Hey, if we drop all of the spells, then we won't have to deal with that fog anymore.
can we come
If you
back
drop
to
all the
this?
spells, whatever is hurting, is threatening Helja, is going to get right in.
But that means we can get in too.
Let's go and find whoever's threatening.
Well, you guys go figure out that door. Like
I think we
said.
should all go.
The only reason I'm not figuring that door right now is because I don't want you to remove this clearly
It
magical
wouldn't be
gem.
me removing it. It would be her.
Okay,
Then
fine.
you can come with too.
What?
Then you can come with too if
No.
you're not gonna do anything with it.
No, I didn't say I'm not going to do anything with it. I just said I'm not going to be going.
All right,
removing
Hunter's
it.
leaving. He's
Leaving?
done with
Okay,
this. Yeah,
we'll
he's
go.
Alright, so you go back down the
We'll go.
stairs.
yeah, and I'm going to the
back
door.
on the gazebo.
Hermione,
Okay, we'll come back and get it after we save Helja.
Yes,
Exactly.
we will.
Don't forget.
Grudgingly
It's on
put
you
my
guys to not
crowbar
forget.
away.
We don't care. So away we go.
Okay. So you then stand in front of the door that has the shield, the crest of the Iron Shield family, emblazoned on it. There's a handle with a small lock at the base. Or not at the base, but like the lock is on the handle.
Can I make an arcana check
To do.
to see if it's blocked in more ways than just the
Sure.
mechanical
Yeah,
lock?
make an arcana check.
Power to the tower.
18.
Okay.
Pretty good.
You take a minute to look, and it does take a minute to sort of scrutinize this entire door inch by inch, and you find on the back of the handle, just sort of looking over it, and like, since you have dark vision, it's easy enough to see, there's a faintly glowing glyph on the back of the handle.
Okay, so don't touch the door handle. I don't know what kind of magic it is, but there's a glyph on it.
Is this the thing that you think we're supposed to use to spell magic on?
Or knock. We have a spell scroll for knock and a spell scroll for spell magic.
That's right.
I don't think I used knock.
So this is just like this great big door.
No, I haven't used knock yet.
Yeah, so it's basically like this, yeah, it's just, I mean, it's like a
It would
regular
make a
sized
loud
door.
sound, though.
It's not massive in any
There have
way,
been
but
lots
it
of
is,
scenarios.
it is uniquely
So, do
decorated
you wanna
amongst the
try to
doors
whisper
you've seen,
for now?
in that it has the colors
to the
and
door.
crest of the Iron
Yeah,
Shield
can you
family.
use that trick you used? Does that work through doors?
The message to see if she's close.
I have to know where the creature is.
Oh.
Even if I can't see it, if it's through a wall, I need to know which direction
I see.
to send the message
So
in.
since we haven't seen the pursuers anywhere, I'm imagining that this is not the door that we should waste our time on.
And I have to be familiar with the target to send it through solid objects.
Because they have a pretty strong lead on us. So we should have seen them if they're stuck here too.
Well, so the question is, do we cast Dispel Magic to get rid of the glyph? Or do I cast Knock to get through the door? What if there's another door later on?
Yeah, I think we should just try and disarm this door or unlock it and open it and see if we just get through easily.
I vote for knock, personally.
Or if there's
Because
if
knock-
the glyph is still armed here,
Knock will unlock it and get rid of the magic. I
It will,
think
it will suppress the magic.
it will suppress the magic that prevents access.
oh,
but
so
if it's a
it's
spell
possible.
that's like not blocking it, but if it's a spell that's a trap, it'll probably still be there.
So, given that the gargoyles were destroyed, that means that someone came through. But if they could have disarmed or suppressed this, or there's a secret passage that we haven't identified yet that they went through.
If you want to look for a secret passage,
I do.
yes.
So Hunter leaves.
Yeah, I'll help.
Okay.
I'll help them with the secret passage, and I'll
Alright,
leave it.
roll your investigation check with advantage.
All right. Got a 3,
I'll
And a
stand
9?
up, protect little Mara.
Plus?
which is
Little
an
harmony,
11.
little harmony.
Okay, both of you feel your way along the walls, and you sort of meet in the middle, having found nothing that would indicate a secret passage. Like your hand doesn't brush through an illusion. You don't find any bricks that feel like they could be moved.
And
It
that's-
feels like this is the one entrance going up.
I say knock it.
I think we should just try and disarm or try and unlock
I
it.
think we should knock
Mechanically.
as well. Because if it's an arcane lock, we don't know what level it was cast at.
Can't you just like?
And then he's not wasting a spell slot to get through it.
Why would we have to? Can't you just unlock it?
It's a
What
magical.
tricks?
It's
There-
probably
there's
a
some
magical
magic.
lock. There's a glyph on it. There's
That
no
doesn't mean
magic
it's
on it.
locked magically. It just means like it is trapped magically.
This is true.
That's why That's why the debate is between knock, which unlocks things, or dispel magic, which would disarm a trap.
right.
Or just try and unlock it mechanically.
But
And
You
that'll-
can't tell from what the glyph is.
But you don't have to touch the
what kind
handle,
it
right?
is.
I don't.
The lock is on the handle. To
Trying
physically unlock it, you would have to touch the
Yeah,
You
handle.
it's
have
pretty
to
clear
touch
that opening this door, or trying to open this door, is going to set off whatever spell this is.
Mhm,
Right.
I see. Okay.
But if I cast knock, then we could pass through it theoretically.
If it's,
I've never cast.
do you know?
Is there a
anything
way?
about trapped spells? Not really my area.
Not
of
really my
expertise.
area of expertise either.
You can answer. Is there any way to tell what it is from the glyph?
She made her Arcana check, and it wasn't quite good. It was good
She
enough to
didn't see-
find it. It wasn't quite good enough to figure out what it was
Yeah, okay.
necessarily.
Okay.
Thaddeus has seen plenty of these before. Surely he knows what it is.
I mean, on one hand, dispel magic would be a little safer because it would get rid of whatever the glyph is, but we don't know what level they cast it at, and it's also using a spell slot. On the other hand, knock is a
So-
scroll, but we only have one cast of it.
I don't. Yeah.
Do we have? Wait, does dispel magic a spell that you have?
I don't have it, but he does.
I've got 2 casts of it.
I see.
I can do it twice, and every time I do it, it's one fewer time that I can use.
I see. Okay.
My vote's for knock.
Don't.
I
want to
mean,
use
this
the
is like
scroll.
this is the top of the tower.
Is it the top?
It is a fact.
This is the top of the tower.
This is the
This
only.
is the
the
door
only
that's
exit
find any
out of the
other
room
way
as far as we can tell.
And I mean, this is probably what Seal gave us this spell for. And if we find another door down the path that has another glyph, then we can use dispel magic.
Let's go for knock then.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
this is what.
You guys
the
all
spell is
voted,
for.
then
Okay. So knock is a level of
That I
spell
can
that
cast.
you can cast, so there's no risk you're going to fail.
Yeah.
You do see when you cast it a barrier of energy. Like it was sort of like hard to notice at first, especially in the dim light. But when you cast it, there's sort of like a diffusing sound as there's a slight shimmer of energy that you sort of just attributed to the shine of the metal that the door is made of. That fades when you cast it.
And there's
And
also
then there's
a
a resounding knocking sound that
That's
echoes.
not a knocking sound.
Yeah, well,
It's an explosion sound.
I
There
don't
you
know.
go.
A resounding knocking sound that booms throughout the tower.
We got
You
10
do just
minutes to get through this door, people. Let's go.
moves really slowly.
That's also the door.
Okay, make a Constitution saving throw.
Ah,
Well, better with Thaddeus than somebody else probably.
you're falling for all the traps.
As the glyph flares to this like bright bluish light as Thaddeus' arm touches the handle.
18?
18 is enough. Okay. You feel your legs begin to tighten up,
Oh
and
dear.
the rest of you see forming on Thaddeus' legs stone that begins
Oh,
to
God.
creep up his legs. But then Thaddeus, you just sort of like manage to pull your leg out and sort of by force of will cause your legs to not turn to stone, and you resist the flesh to stone spell.
Oh god.
Wow. Glad.
Was that a one-use thing?
I'll be opening any doors we come across.
Do you want to look at the handle?
Yeah.
The glyph has faded.
Okay. Alright, cool. Yeah. So
Thaddeus opens it.
both would have been okay. We needed not to get through because it was locked arcane, but also there was a trap on it as well. It was both.
As you go to jiggle the handle, though,
God damn it! No, Knock should have unlocked
knock undoes the arcane lock that was on it, but it's
Okay,
still
Mara.
physically locked.
Alright, I'm up. I'll try to pick it.
it. The object can be a door, a box, is anything with the.
If
If
it
a
has-
target that is held shut by a mundane lock, or that is stuck or barred becomes unlocked, unstuck, or unbarred.
Keep reading.
Only one of them is locked.
Go ahead, Mara.
Alright, I'm gonna try to
We
unlock
only
it.
have 10 minutes.
However, dispelling the lock does make this DC a lot easier. So,
Not
God
gonna
damn
roll
it!
one.
That's the third time you roll a 1 when you're
but
trying
you
to
get
lock
double
it.
proficiency plus your skill, right? So add it up. It's
So,
not an automatic
Can
fail
we
on
help
this.
well,
her?
it's is it sleight of hand
Can I
or
tell
is
her
it
to
just
hold-
dex?
Hold it right side
Thieves'
down.
tools,
Yeah,
which she's
is
proficient in.
Dexterity thieves tools.
so it's dexterity and it's
Thieves tools.
double proficiency.
Can
So-
Hunter
yes, we
Hunter
already
help?
did.
It's a 6, so 7.
So it's what?
7.
Did
No,
you
double
add?
proficiency.
Okay, you add
Right?
plus
Double.
3, and then plus 3 again, plus 3 again.
So
Oh,
10.
so 10.
10. Clicks. unlocks.
Wow. On a 1, you unlock the door.
I feel sorry.
No, because it's the DC
With
was 10.
the arcane lock in effect, that would have been a fail. But because you dispelled the arcane lock, the DC is lower, so it's easier.
I barely did it.
Let's put this
I
one
just-
into the
However, Mara doesn't show that she barely did it. To you
Yeah.
guys, it looks like a cool, clean unlock.
Hunter still knows she's holding it upside down the whole time.
I just can't believe that you, out of the 4
Next time, maybe I
tried
have
to
to
unlock
my
3 of them have
Here,
been bubbles.
You could try
3
this
of them
one.
have been ones.
Battle hardened.
3 of them have been
Try
ones.
this one next time.
Okay, I will.
Well, maybe this one is ready for you.
No, don't try
Open
eating
the
the
door and go
these.
through.
Okay.
These ones are both in the
You
doghouse.
open the door, it sort of swings outward, so you have to sort of step back as you pull it back. And it goes up a lit staircase. There are these blue flames that burn in sconces on the walls. Beyond the 5-foot door that you are entering in, the hallway opens up to like a 15-foot square hallway and goes straight upwards for what looks like about 20 feet or so. And then as the staircase comes to a landing, you can see that there are 2 open doors, and you can hear a couple things. You can hear a small and you can also hear the sound of muttered voices.
That's not good.
Let's go investigate this quickly.
Yeah, let's do that.
Dashing up.
Quietly.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
No,
When you enter the room,
that doesn't go quiet.
I know. You and Hunter have that in
I'm
common.
quiet. Let me
you
go
want to
check
sneak
it
up
out.
first?
Let
They
me
already
check it
gone.
out.
They already said they
Hunter
went
and
up the
Thaddeus
stairs.
have burst
Oh.
up there, so
So
It was
can
a
I-
thought, but-
Can I hold an
Where's the-
action if we surprise them?
These boys.
Or whatever,
Um,
surprise whatever is there, perhaps?
I'm going to say no in this case because there are extenuating circumstances
Alright, sure.
which you don't know about yet.
Okay.
I'm going to put you guys behind them
No,
a couple feet.
lots of feet. Lots of feet. Like 20 feet behind them.
That's like 20.
Killing the lights. Just in time for the horror show.
Oh god.
More ambiance.
Oh god.
Oh. Shall
Is
we
that the
go,
hallway?
guys?
Yep, this is the stairway.
Put,
So
put me like
I'm waiting for like a pipe organ and a
Behind us.
Ganondorf.
maybe 30.
Why do you want to be so far
Mara,
away?
where do you want to be? How far behind?
I'll be behind them about maybe 10 feet.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Harmony's like, you guys can take all the hits. I'm gonna hang out back here.
Now you want
Thaddeus
to be
and
back
Hunter, you burst into the room. The doors are already open. And when you enter the room, a grisly sight meets your eyes.
Uh-oh.
The large hexagonal room
there.
is
Octagonal?
adorned with research desks and bookshelves packed with alembics, books, candles, and other arcane furnishings. But the first thing that catches your eye is the body lying on the floor at the back of the room near a glass door that leads to a balcony overlooking the 4th and topmost layer of the city. The body belongs to an ancient dwarven-looking female, her silver hair dyed crimson in the pools of blood that spill out around her. Hunched over the body, with their back to you and clutching a whirring tool, this is the source of that whirring sound, that resembles a miniature circular saw blade, is a figure in black robes. Between you and the figure stands an imposing metallic form of a warforged with bulky metallic plate armor and a large circular shield, with what appears to be a varnished human eye in the center.
Ugh.
At the feet of the warforged stands another small horror, a pair of human-like brains with monster-like hairy legs that culminate in bestial claws. Lastly, your eyes are drawn to perhaps the greatest horror of the room. The second greatest horror of the room. A floating spherical creature in the corner of the room is surrounded by a small pile of trinkets and clothing. It has smooth purplish blue skin and a massive electric blue eye that takes up the majority of what you can only presume is the front of its face. Tentacles, 6 of which feature smaller eyes on their tips, whip and flail around its body as it chews on what appears to be a robe of immaculate color. As you enter the room, the hooded figure stooped over the body turns slowly, its hooded head moving almost in slow motion as it looks towards you, and it pulls back its hood to reveal the most horrifying sight in the room. The creature's purplish skin is cracked and dry,
Oh
and
no,
looks to
there
be
it
stretched
is.
across its flat and hairless features. Its 2 black sunken eyes gleam darkly as it studies you, the tentacle-like appendages that dominate the area where its mouth should be twitching back and forth slowly. Then, after what feels like an eternity, though in reality it has probably only been a few seconds, it speaks. When? Braxis, Sarah, Bella, I'm nearly done with my work here. You deal with these intruders. And then he turns slowly back to his work, the saw whirring again, and more blood pooling out from Helja Ironshield's head. The Warforged in the center of the room steps forward and says, Sarah and Bella said you'd be here soon, but it really did take you quite a while. And the two brain-like creatures at its feet sort of like brush up against it and sort of turn and like walk around it, almost as if they're cats or dogs standing at the creature's feet. And then the Warforged creature's eyes alight onto Hunter.
I know what this is going on.
Zant, I knew we'd meet again at some point. It's unfortunate that it's under these circumstances.
No.
And I'm going to draw some things on the map.
Oh. Yes. Crap.
Holy shit!
So this is the windowed room that looks out over the city. This is the balcony there. This is the pile of junk that the spherical creature is standing over. You guys can take a look at him if you want.
Is it similar to the one that we saw in the...
But bigger.
Oh, so it is a beholder.
Are you trying to TPK us?
Maybe. Standing hunched over the body of Helja Ironshield is this abomination. Curling at the feet of the Warforged in the center of the room are those two brains
Little
there.
walking butts.
And we'll say that this dwarf is the
We're all gonna die.
If it's a beholder, we're all dead.
It is a beholder.
If someone wants to make an Arcana check, who has come into the room, you could determine if it is a true beholder.
Well, can I match it to the one that we saw in Mother Midnight's?
Unfortunately, the one you saw in Mother Midnight's
Was like
wasn't
an-
a true beholder either.
Oh, okay. That was kind of a,
It was a spectator.
yeah.
Why did I waste
Nope.
a roll on that?
Right?
Yeah.
I got,
That's fine on that Arcana check.
Yeah.
you got a natural. Oh, okay. Well, doesn't matter then. I got
Okay.
a 7.
You have heard tales of these horrifying creatures throughout. They're scattered throughout the religious texts, and they're always spoke of in horrified whispers. Like, if you've encountered one of these things, you're in serious trouble. However, you know that there are different varieties of them, and no one's really sure where they come from and if they come from the same location. But you do know that there are greater ones and lesser ones, and the greater ones, first of all, are much larger than this one seems to be. This one is perhaps as big as you. It takes up like it has a similar threat range to you, whereas a true beholder would be much bigger. Second of all, you know that a true beholder has 8 eye stalks, and this one you count 6 and 4 tentacles.
Okay.
So it seems to be sort of a lesser one.
Oh god. We're all gonna die.
Can we throw that little room in there and you pop it up and get in?
No.
This room is not quite tall enough for that. It's got like a 15-foot ceiling.
Also, it's very hard to repair, and we just got it. It's saying
Yeah,
something about
but
it.
do you want to die or
At
do you
this
want to
moment, nothing has taken any hostile action. Wen is just sort of stepping forward a little bit towards you, arms crossed, looking directly at Hunter and sort of expecting you to say something.
Yeah,
Can
well,
I-
after we...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, the purple cracked skin illithid standing over Helja Ironshield's body continues to pay you no attention as its saw just...
I have something I want to do too when I catch up to them.
Okay.
Crap. We don't really have time to talk right now.
No, we don't.
So,
It's action. What are you doing?
I don't have time to talk to Win right now.
Well, I mean, you could have a conversation with Glenn if that's what you want to do.
I do want to talk to
Because
Win.
no one's taken a hostile action.
Thaddeus is about to take hostile.
I'm about to take a hostile action too.
You have like 25 words to say
Well, we
when
have to
before
do
this
it.
breaks off.
They're killing.
When we'll have to catch up later.
That's all you say?
Yeah.
All right. I have a feeling this initiative is going to get interrupted at some point, but let's roll it anyways.
Okay.
I just rolled mine.
Yeah.
Just, I've pre-rolled mine, so I'm all set. Is this a 6 or a 9?
It's a nine.
Yes.
It's a difficult one.
Let's get some battle. Oof.
Is that one any
I
better?
feel like
Thank you.
this is gonna be a bigger fight than this session.
I'm glad that we
Oh, man.
slept, but
Yeah,
I'm also not glad that we slept.
Well, did you roll a 1?
I'd have to change my
Oh,
plans
no,
a
you
bit
add
because
this.
you slept.
You got
Oh.
plus
It's an
5.
11.
Yeah.
Well, big deal.
Well, that makes quite a difference.
Wait a second. You didn't use this dice.
No, because it rolled a 1 last time.
This one?
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
I'll
No,
we'll
no,
use
no,
that.
not right now.
I know,
No.
we'll use.
Only when you need to.
No, don't waste your roll. Don't waste your roll, especially if it's a good roll.
Oh, similarly, I forgot to mention the hooded figure crouched over the body does have the symbol of the eye on its hood when it fell back. However, it also has a white hand behind the eye, almost like holding the eye.
All right.
So we got 2 brains, big face.
Well,
you have less than half an hour, but I think I can get that if you go through that.
I have an idea. It might be a terrible idea. It might work. We'll find out.
Okay, and Harmony, you are up first. You can hear the sounds of this conversation. You hear Hunter basically saying that Wen is in there. You heard this voice say, Wen, Braxis, Sarah, Bella, deal with them. You heard Wen try to start a conversation, and then you sort of see Thaddeus and Hunter beginning to fan out into the room hostilely.
I'll run up to them, and I need to be 60 feet away from the Illithid, and also from the spectator.
30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. You are just within range of both.
And I'm going to cast Banishment at his level and try to banish both of them.
Okay, good move if it works. Let me pull up their stats.
But that's my highest level spell, so let's try that. I'm going to say, oh!
No!
No! Get out of here!
Wait, can you choose targets for banishment?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, of course I can.
One thing I do
send
need
one
you to do,
creature that you see within range to another plane of existence.
I thought this was like an area.
Harmony,
No.
as you run into the
I
room
can
though and
choose
sort of catch the
A
eye
second.
of this demi-beholder, whatever it may be,
Don't you dare.
you feel, no, it's not an anti-magic cone. Your spells are going to work.
Don't
However,
you dare. It's my level spell slot.
You feel
That's mine.
an effect beginning to take hold of you, and you know that it is because this beholder has locked eyes with you, so you know that you can avert your eyes, but it will give it advantage on its throw, I think. Oh, no, it won't, because it wouldn't do that. But it will definitely, you won't be able to see the battlefield as well.
If I can still banish them, then of course I'm going to avert my
Okay.
eyes. For now.
In which case, I will roll for the beholder, or no, the Illithid first. He succeeds.
Damn it.
Sort of not even paying attention to you, the spell strikes him, and he looks up, and he cricks his neck a little bit, and there's this loud popping bones sound as he does so, and the dry skin rattles against itself. But yes, it's a wisdom, right?
It's a charisma saving throw.
Charisma, so 26, so he succeeds.
Yeah.
The beholder, I don't think the beholder gets advantage. It's not actually a beholder, but it is. Nope, it doesn't get advantage. So I think it fails with a 10.
Yes, it fails!
So what happens if they're not from this plane?
They get banished permanently.
They don't have any other chance to come back?
No.
Well,
They just,
they get banished permanently if you maintain the spell for that entire time.
Okay,
well,
noted.
it says
That
we
those
need to
cards-
actually look in the
those
book
cards.
for that.
Was that the thing
I'll
that
figure it out.
I had the song?
Yeah.
No, this guy
Keep
has
going
the
for
song.
now.
That guy has
That's-
the song.
Yeah.
Anything else on Harmony's turn?
Can I, if I still have movement, I'd like to hide behind.
You don't have movement. That was
Hunter.
30 to get up there.
I'm not gonna
However,
do it
you
right
could have
now, I
gone
think.
there, so I will let you do
Yeah, that's where I'd like to be.
Then, Wen gets his action.
Banishment. If the target is native to the plane of existence you're on, blah blah blah. If the target is native to a different plane of existence, the target is banished with a faint popping noise returning to its home plane. If the spell ends before 1 minute has passed, the target reappears in the space it left.
So he might
So I
come
have
back.
to maintain it for a minute.
Maintain as in
The spell. Maintain
concentration.
concentration on the spell. Yeah.
You just run away.
I might have to.
Just walk away.
Yeah.
Hunter,
Yeah.
make a strength saving throw.
Okay, athletics? Or strength saving throw. 26.
Okay. This Wen's arm shifts and sort of whirs in a circular motion, and this beam of lightning erupts from it, and it whips towards you and tries to grab onto you and pull you forward. But you manage to like
Can
hold your
I-
ground and resist the effect.
Can I let it pull me but not actually take the effect? Like I can like
Yeah,
sort of pull
that's
myself?
fine.
Okay.
You would have taken some lightning damage, but you resist that.
Okay.
You manage to just shrug that off, so
Yeah.
you let it pull you forward 10
Up
feet
close
towards
and
him.
personal with this guy.
And then you watch as his other arm, the one that's not holding the shield, opens up and a large greatsword sort of like comes out of it with like mechanical
That was
motion
my
and
idea.
slides forward into his wrist.
I don't like
And then
this.
as
You
it
took it
reaches
from me.
into his wrist, his fingers buckle into his hand.
I don't like this either.
And then he takes
That was
a sword
my
swing against you.
invention.
Yeah, don't let him pull you to the sword, dude.
Oh, he's going down.
Well, he's about to hit you.
Nah, it's okay. But I'm gonna ask if that uses help.
That's just gotta.
Okay, fine.
Do you have your shield out right now?
I should have.
Then it's 18, so you catch it on your shield just in time. And he says, I really didn't want to have to fight you, Hunter. It's really unfortunate that this is the way we've met again.
He doesn't know my name is Hunter.
Oh, right, Zant. Sorry, my bad. I knew that was one.
Well, we don't have to.
Hunter, it's your turn.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try. Can I do this? Can I try and like pin him to the ground, use the sovereign glue, and actually glue him to the ground?
It would probably take multiple actions across multiple turns to do all that, but you could try to pin him to the ground.
Yeah, you'd have to grapple him, put him to the floor, then stop him.
So 2 turns?
3.
3 turns? Why 3 turns? What would be each turn breakdown?
I just said
Grapple.
him, put him to the floor, stop him.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it takes 1 turn to grapple, 1
Yeah.
turn to pin, and then 1 turn to. Oh man, that's a lot.
It would work, though. It could work.
I really want.
However,
that to help me.
You also know that I believe the Sovereign Glue takes a minute to dry.
Yeah, it does. No, that's not gonna happen. Nope. Okay. So. That was what I wanted to do, but I guess instead. So his armaments are all attached. Like all his weapons are attached to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't disarm him.
Yeah, his fingers like buckle into his wrist,
Yeah.
securing the sword in place.
Okay. Well, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Crap, this is not good. I will just, I guess, start swinging at him, I suppose.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be really upset about this. I don't really want to fight him. Okay.
Yes.
So, I'm gonna start swinging with my Sword of Wounding. I got a, that's not gonna hit, that's a 13.
13 does not hit. No, he catches that on his shield. He parries it away.
Classic shields. That one is a 24.
24 would hit, however, as he's bringing the shield up and he sees you're going for another strike, mark something off here. The shield, he's like he pushes a button on the back of the shield or something, and it expands around his whole body. And that, you said 24?
Yeah.
That will miss.
Huh?
That will miss. He clatters against the shield.
I know! I swear! This is stupid.
It's like Hunter
Not
took
happy
it out.
Remember a while back when I said I had an anti-hunter strategy? You've met it now.
Yeah, I guess so. I thought it was all the maces that were beating me into the ground.
No.
But that's okay. Alright, so that's fine. That's what I have done then.
Okay. Then the polder would get its turn, but it's not here. So
One turn.
mark that down. So
I guess it would be
Bella.
technically my turn, it's not his turn.
Thaddeus and Harmony, I need you to make intelligence saving throws.
You got +3 to this.
I do?
For me.
Okay.
Oh, not that great.
Roll a 9.
I roll. Wait, a 14.
Oh, 14.
Let me actually make sure they can do this. What is their speed? Oh yeah, they've got plenty of speed.
Oh dear.
There we go. They have to get there to do it. What were your saving throws?
9.
14.
Alright, 14 will do it. However, 9 does not.
Oh dear.
Thaddeus, you take 9 psychic damage as these brains sort of like get up close to you, and you can feel like this pulse of energy like hit your head, and it's a splitting headache. Also, you have a higher intelligence score than 9, right?
Yes. It,
Okay. Then that is all that happens.
Oh dear.
Mara, it's your turn. You can see these two walking brains stalking forward, and like Thaddeus is suddenly like gripping his head as they
Yeah,
keep running
I'm
forward.
going to try to shoot him with my short bow, the one that's attacking Thaddeus, I guess.
Okay. You will get sneak attack if you hit it, so roll your hit. Roll your
Yeah.
attack.
Oh, here you go.
Does she get advantage?
No.
No, just okay.
You would if you were.
Ooh,
That's
that's a
fine.
good one. 16
Oh, the great
16.
dice.
Plus
6.
6, so
16 alone would have done it. So
22.
hits. Roll your
Alright,
damage.
so you get the sneak attack, which is 3d6, plus a d6, so 4d6. And then you add 3 to it.
Nice. Really good.
16 plus 3, 19.
Nice.
Wow. The arrow sort of like sticks through the brain's body, and it like tilts and wobbles, and
Nice.
you can tell it barely is hanging on at this point. Anything else for Mara's turn? Movement?
I still want to kind of stay back, so I'll stay where I am for now.
Okay.
I
Thaddeus.
can't do another action.
that is bonus action makes you step 30 feet ahead.
Okay.
Good.
Movement action up to the Olympic.
To there.
Yeah,
And then
I know. It's,
2,
it's a
3,
veteran.
4, 5. You get up next to him, and he turns to look at you as you come.
Trying to win my sword.
Yeah, do it. Take it down. Take it down.
2 flames.
The one of those saw.
Really good. Okay, I think these are okay.
Hunter channels is good cheat.
Yeah, with movement blade.
Yeah.
Do I put? Yeah, I put everything I have. in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
Text,
This thing is
I can
nasty.
put a divine smite on the both hits, right? One on each.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Did
Okay.
you hit twice?
I hit twice. Well, I'm assuming I hit twice with 24 and 27.
Yes, you hit twice.
All right. So, I'm gonna roll my damage here.
The only person you don't have to, or you can't assume you hit with a roll of a 20 or above is Wen.
Stupid Wen. Stupid
You may not be our
invention
enemy.
stealing. I had a patent.
You didn't invent yourself.
I'm trying. I have these ideas that I was telling Ethan about that he stole them.
I technically had this idea way before you mentioned it.
I don't believe you.
I
You
did.
didn't
I need
tell
one
me.
more. I need one more.
I've
D8.
had Wen stat blocks for
I'm just-
you took all mine.
months.
That'd be what?
This.
That's fine.
No, not that one.
They're good ideas.
Feels better if I got a crit, so I'll take what I can get.
You're just rolling all the damage.
Pulling all the damage. I just gotta kill him. I'm dead.
Oh my god. Too many more.
And
But there's
100 and
There's 2 8s in there.
Here we go.
There's 2 here too.
Oh, you're right. I should have.
You rolled them. Yeah,
Oh, I did.
you rolled them. They just rolled over towards you.
There's going to be so much damage, I can tell.
That's a lot.
15.
64.
Jeez. Okay.
So it's too late. Too little too late.
Yeah, and it looks up at you angrily from its work. And now that you're closer, you can see it has a jar next to it, and it is beginning to pull out the brain of Helja Ironshield, and it looks like it was probably going to put it in this jar.
Oh, so she's dead, right?
She's very dead.
She's very dead. Yeah.
The blood
took
is
that
pooling
long rest.
everywhere. Her head is literally cut open in a circle, with her brain spilling out.
But we still got all the pieces. She could be revived.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm sure Seal could do it.
Still have all the pieces.
Alright. Anything else with that is?
He used his action to move and his bonus action.
Okay. This creature turns around and looks at you. I didn't want to have to deal with any distractions when it shouts across the room. And where the hell is Braxis?
It's a very
And
good
I need
question.
you to make an intelligence saving throw. As it looks at you very intensely, you can feel that psychic pain ripping through your brain again.
What was the other name that you mentioned?
Uh,
This is Gwen and
Bella.
Bella.
Sarah and Bella.
Sarah and Bella. I'm guessing it's like cerebellum.
That's a straight up 10.
Oh no.
You take 20 psychic damage and are stunned for a minute, but you can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns.
Yeah.
And it says, sit still for a moment.
Oh dear.
Actually, hold on, that's a big cone. It's not just Thaddeus that needs to make that. But it is facing this direction, so actually it is just Thaddeus, I believe.
You're not gonna use your stencil that you printed out?
Well, this one is not technically actually big enough. But yes, it will just be Thaddeus in the cone. So
You can turn it a little bit, get that brain if you want.
he's not going to hit his brain if he can avoid it.
You know the Warforged too.
You made him mad.
Yeah.
So he literally only targeted you.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I meant what I said. If I don't kill him on this attack, I'm probably gonna die.
You're okay though.
Harmony, it's your turn.
I'm stunned in front of the light player. I'm probably gonna die.
Question.
Mhm.
Am I within melee range of this thing? The brain?
No, it's 10 feet away from you.
But he doesn't have a 10-foot reach.
No, but
Okay.
his psychic power can go 10 feet.
Isn't he 15 feet?
No.
Yeah, I guess. No, he's. I mean, there's a 10-foot distance between you and him.
Okay.
So I guess actually, technically, they would have had to have been one more full.
Ooh, can I
That's fine.
smack him?
No,
No, because that's just where they were.
I mean, he
last
could have gone around you and still made it.
I don't know.
These things are quick; they can move 40 per round. So.
time.
I have long arms though.
Not that long.
So I can't get by that brain without evoking it. Oh, wait. The one on the
You could
my
get
right.
by that one, but you're gonna run into the other one.
Right, that's what I mean. The one on the right, I can't
Mhm.
get around. So I'll. Let's see. And this is 60 feet ish. We've said.
That's 60 feet-ish.
So I'm gonna come back here behind Mara and cast Fire Bolt
Okay,
at the Illithid.
make your attack.
I'm a Tides of Chaos it.
Okay.
Thank you.
14?
14, it ducks out of the way and your firebolt shatters against
I'm
the
gonna
glass.
try again.
Okay.
I'm gonna use Quicken Spell and do that same thing again. That would be 2. 2? 1? 2. Jesus Christ. That's better. How about a 18?
18 would do it, but he's going to expend a spell slot and cast Shield. And it shatters against the shield.
In that case, wait, how much does shield add? 5?
Of course he
Hey,
does.
Okay.
I suppose it's too much to go for this each like good enemy, right?
The Mind Flayer?
Yeah.
It's probably a little too much to hope.
That it's your what? Okay. Damn it.
When you could maybe hope for. But he at this
What-
point seems
What was your
hostile.
question?
Okay, then I'm gonna use the rest of my movement to get the fuck down the stairs. Because that was only 4. And I can move
I will say there is a creature in this room that is your good enemy.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's 20. So I'll go over here.
Okay.
You could.
But you go before.
Then
Sorry, I
it is
tried.
Wen's turn.
I tried
You tried.
2 times.
Wen is going to use his action to disengage from Hunter.
Uh-oh. You get back here.
Run up to Thaddeus, and then action surge.
Oh god.
And as he runs up, he says to you as he's running up behind you, I really wish I didn't have to do this. And then he's going to make some attacks at advantage. If you are
One
stunned.
attack, though, right? Oh, no, I see.
How many attacks does he actually get?
With an accent surge?
He gets one action, and then he can turn that into an attack action.
Well,
19 will do it on the dice. A crit will do it on the dice.
which one are you gonna
And the 19 will do it on the dice. So 3 hits.
Yeah.
One of them is a crit.
I don't think that's anything. That is just a drop.
I don't know how much good that
I'm
would
pretty
do.
sure he will. Let me just roll a bunch of dice on a dice roller.
You can have it, you can just get up on it. It's
I
better
was
to
thinking
figure out where to restrain them, or
okay.
better to figure out how to restrain them.
Well, I
or
guess my job is to
debilitate them.
You take, wow, pretty low damage on
Yeah.
this.
Yes,
He
it's
ran right away.
the brains.
He disengaged.
And then action surge.
Okay. Oh, right.
Oh, so it's not all of the same attacks. It's
Yeah.
just
So much I can do about that.
Well, he does get all of his multi-attack.
But only once, not twice. We were worried.
No,
he was
not-
gonna-
not
We were
double
worried he was going to get like 6
No,
attacks.
no, you're not taking that. You are taking from the total slashing damage. I rolled really low on the dice.
Oh.
Plus 4, 12, 24 slashing damage.
Okay.
And then,
Oh, and that.
and then 21 psychic damage as the blade cleaves into you 3 times, and you can feel just each slash of the blade physically hurts you, and you feel that piercing pain in your brain. There was a crit in, so
Yeah, that is drops.
okay.
holy shit.
And that mind flare, the Illithid then says, "Good work, Gwen. I'm almost done here. Hold them a little longer." And then goes back to his work. Hunter.
Alright. I'm just gonna shout back to Mara and be like, keep him off me for a sec, and then I'm gonna pull my bow out and aim for the Illithid. And
Okay.
I'm just gonna
Pull it
shoot,
out, bonus
shoot
action to
crazy.
set it.
Oh yeah, and I'm using my scope too.
Cool.
So hopefully
You
this
see
works.
is increased because you can see a magical shield shimmering in front of him. at
I'm
this
sorry,
point in time. You can see this magical shield shimmering on him at this point in time because he casts shield.
Oh, does that persist?
It
It's
persists until it's next.
a little bit longer, yeah.
That's sucky. Okay.
It's the same spell that I
So let's see here.
We'll get through this round and then be done with it.
Okay, and I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna go for sharpshooter, and I got a 27 to hit.
On the Illithid, we'll do it.
Okay, for my first attack. That's a sharpshooter. I'm gonna do a. Let's see. I don't need to do that. Don't need to do that. I could push him off the cliff.
You could. You'd have to push him 20 feet,
I can do 2 pushing attacks.
25 feet.
Yeah, 15 each.
You-
Okay.
The door is also closed. Like, the
Oh,
window
no,
is shut,
no.
but with enough force, you could push it through.
I don't have the attack that I want, so I don't want to trip him because then he'd be prone, and then I have my next attack with a disadvantage probably. So I'm just gonna shoot him. So we got 23 for the first one.
Okay.
Second attack, and it's a 30 to hit.
30,
And
obviously, yep.
yep, and I will do I'll do a pushing attack, I guess, for this one, just so I can get the extra damage. So he has to make a strength saving throw DC 18,
Strength is not one of his good stats.
and that is
But he rolled well. But he has a +0, so 15 fails.
oh, I didn't do the damage right on the last one. What did I say for the damage on the last one?
23.
Oh no, that was right. This one is 13, 21, 31 damage.
Okay.
Is he still standing?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna action surge.
You see sort of an effect you've seen on several other magical creatures before,
Uh-huh.
where your non-magical arrow attacks aren't doing as much damage as
That's
they
really
should.
unfortunate. But I guess I'll just keep trying. And I'll just action surge and do 2 more attacks.
Okay.
So that is a 30 to hit for the first one and a 25 for the second one.
Both of those will hit.
Okay. And I'll just do 2 more pushes, I guess, because I don't have any other way to do extra damage. I'll do 1 push. Oh wait, I guess technically I picked up menacing attack, I think. I'll just do push. And then,
Oh, he should have been pushed 15 feet back last time.
yeah, so I'm just pushing him against the wall. Like pinning him to the wall. Alright, that's pretty bad. 9, 17, 27 damage on the first one.
Okay.
Is he still up?
Yep, he's still up.
Okay, the next one is...
Just need to count it exactly. Yep, he's starting to look like he's bleeding profusely.
25 damage on the next one.
You've been having plenty of practice with him. I guess maybe you should just paint him to the wall.
He is, you can see he's breathing heavily, and he doesn't bleed red blood. He's just like, as your attacks are hitting him, it looks like it's almost like your arrows are piercing through like parchment. Like
weird.
his skin is
Okay.
so dry and cracked that you just go through and like nothing pours out.
Alright, well that's all I got, guys.
Alright.
So,
We did good. We're putting forth a good try.
We are.
alright, 1, 2, 3,
The
4.
beholder can't do anything.
So,
Bella.
mark down these things.
These 2 things are going to go after Harmony and Mara.
Damn it.
Mara, hold on, actually, they're close enough that one of them can actually attack you with its claws.
Okay.
How does a 19 do on your AC? Mara.
Okay, so we're not met.
No, 19.
That hits.
Yeah, it hits. That was
He's
the
asking
Oh,
about the
okay,
sword.
yeah.
Okay. You take 6 slashing damage. And then I also need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
You roll a d20
You want this one again? Okay.
and add your.
And then your saving throw is this one. Is 1.
16.
Oh, that's
That's
good.
pretty good.
16 does it. You can feel this like headache pain as this thing sort of like comes up near you, but you manage to fight off the pain and push past it. Harmony, I just need you to make the intelligence saving throw.
That's a 7.
Okay. You take 11 psychic damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
This is really important.
I know.
It's so important, and I can't even use type of chaos. Constitution. Okay. Okay, that's a 23.
Your intelligence is higher than 9.
Yes.
Then that is the end of the effect that hits you. Then it is Mara's turn.
Mara, go for the
The
elephant.
I have the ability to fight with 2 weapons as a swashbuckler.
Wait. Where does it say that? Two weapon fighting?
Yeah, 2-weapon fighting.
Hold on.
Other characters must use bonus action to disengage if they want to escape a melee. But a swashbuckler's fancy quick look ability bundles a more limited version of disengage with your attack. This allows you to use your bonus action
So
to
you
fight
can
with 2
dual
weapons
wheels.
and then safely evade each foe by attack.
Okay. So essentially you can make an attack and then without disengaging run away? Is that how that works?
Yeah, she has something called fancy footwork
Yeah.
as a swashbuckler that lets her attack and then disengage
Yep.
without.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you're attacking the brain that is right next to you?
I think I better get rid of those for her.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
If you hit, you'll get your sneak attack damage
Yeah.
because
okay.
of your
One of
swashbuckler.
them's weak, right?
Yeah, one of them is dead.
The one that is weak is the one that is
This one.
In front
away
of you.
from her. So
Yeah.
she'd have to move from the other one, and it would claw at her.
You,
Yeah,
so
so-
you have to. Well, she can attack this one behind her and then run away.
Yes,
Okay.
But I don't know if you get 2 attacks.
Do you have multi-attack?
she does not.
No.
Rogues don't get it. They don't.
Oh, they just get 1 attack? So you might want to...
But it says she can fight with 2 weapons. So that's like a dagger in each hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. So she could use the offhand.
Yeah, so you could do a dagger on one and run over and hit the other one with a dagger.
Can
Okay.
you save the sneak attack for the second attack?
Yeah, you can use it on weekend, but you can only use it once.
Sure, yeah.
Didn't I use it last time?
You can use it
You can
every
use it
turn.
You
once
can use
per
it every,
Oh, okay.
yeah, every
round, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
Per
Probably
turn.
should use it on the one farther away.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that.
So first
Actually,
roll your
are
attack
you-
against this one, and see if you can hit it.
So,
Let's see here.
oh no, you're good. I was just thinking.
9
9 total.
plus, wait, plus 6, right?
Don't say the number until you've added it together because then it's just confusing.
So
yes.
15 total.
Okay.
Is this a 9?
I think
It's
so.
a 6.
Or it's a 6?
Oh, it's a 6.
So 12.
Dang, 12.
You still have
12
inspiration,
still
right?
does it.
Inspiration, right?
12 still
have
does it
one?
though.
I?
Yeah.
No.
Didn't we all get one?
No.
Last session?
No, just Mara got
Just
one.
Just
you?
Mara got
Oh,
one, and
okay.
she's used it.
I'll put it
So
down.
you twirl the short sword around, or I believe it's a
The
short
dagger.
sword. The
Yeah.
dagger, yep.
Mhm.
Stab into it. So roll your damage. Are you using sneak attack on this one, or trying to use it
No,
on
the
the
next one.
Okay.
It's a-
1d4
This one.
plus 3.
there you go.
So 6.
And then so then you can disengage from the other one without problem. And how far do you want to move around this one? Something like that.
Yeah, that's good. Cool.
And then you're taking another attack against that one.
Yeah, I'll use the sneak attack on this one.
Ooh, that's good.
25.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that hits. So then roll your sneak attack damage.
That's
you
all
get
46.
Oh,
The
yeah.
only thing different about this one,
3d6 and a d4.
And a
Right?
D4?
Yeah, because
Oh,
it's
right,
a
because
D4.
it's a different.
Yeah.
but you don't add your
Yeah.
your
No,
mod.
that's not a D4, that's it.
Because it's raw.
This is awesome.
Oh, right. So you don't add.
This is her main
You
one.
don't add the
Right.
plus.
She added the main hand damage last.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So yeah, roll
Okay,
this
so
and
roll
it's just
this.
this.
Just this.
Yeah. I didn't know about that rule either.
14.
'Cause I've never
14.
had a pure
Yeah.
use as an offhand, so
Yes.
that's
I had forgotten about their resistances to damage, but since I forgot about it last time, I'm going to say it still worked. So that is enough to kill this one.
Yay!
Whereas if I'd remembered, it would not have been.
Hooray!
So,
We're
uh,
not gonna die!
So Sarah
I mean, we
is dead.
damaged the bell holder.
Thaddeus needed that
Sneak
save.
attack is a
Yeah.
really good one, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Sneak attack is
Yeah,
a really
It's
good
got
one.
one success.
Good. Oh my
Mark
god,
that down.
I'm sorry.
Um,
One of us
The
needs to get a potion.
Mind Flare comes up to the body of Helja Ironshield over here, activates the tool one more time, severs the brain, and then picks it up and puts it in the jar, and then holds it out towards Wen and says, "I have a feeling I'm not making it out of this. You take this and get out of here." And so Wen then takes the brain in the jar and puts it in it's like a satchel at his side. And then that's his action and movement. So that's the Mind Flayer's turn. Harmony. Actually, we're ending at the top of this round of initiative. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
So we're going to pick up in this middle of this intense fight next time. Thank you to anyone who tuned in to watch. Things are crazy.
I have an
Wow.
idea how to get you out though.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Can I just do my turn real quick? 'Cause I don't know
No,
what
it's-
to
No, because it's a clean break at the top of the round. I'm sorry.
do. Okay.
I know it's really exciting. I've been excited to get to this as well.
Ugh.
So thank you to anyone who tuned in. The VOD will be up immediately after. We're going to rebroadcast a couple times throughout the weeks. There will be a video up on YouTube on Wednesday, as well as the backlog of all of our episodes that are on YouTube, so you can get caught up if you're interested. And we hope to see you back for more Antiheroes Anonymous. So have a good night. Bye.
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 Hi.